wow. And I jotted down some notes that I want us to share tonight. So definitely, anybody that wants to chime in today, please go ahead and speak on it because this was wild. This is the culture, and I'm looking at the culture right now, and I'm shaking my head a little bit like this culture looks very different than the culture I watched growing up. I used to watch some of the greats, and I know some of y'all did too. And this wasn't it. This was not it. Go ahead, Ray. Unmute your mic.
We just freestyling right now.
Oh no, I'm about to go ahead and begin it, but I saw you had your hand up. I didn't know if you wanted to say something, add something to it. Right now, I'm tweeting out the space and whatnot. So if you want to add something, that's fine.
I wanted to ask your opinion on something kind of. Well, I seen that Carolyn Bryant. Well, I say this. I guess they found a warrant for her from 1955. She's been accused of all these years. I want to see if you saw anything about that.
I saw that. I didn't get a chance to look at it, but I saw that they had this warrant about her, about the Emmett Till, and that's circulating right now on Twitter and whatnot. So I'm gonna have to update the content later on to see if any of the sources went ahead and added that to their sites and it's on news. So yeah, I saw that. That's a bombshell right there, to say the least. That is a bombshell. She's been protected and treated with kitty gloves the whole time, and here this heifer had a damn arrest warrant, and they just swept that. Why not get rid of the damn thing since they never arrested her? But that's gonna be.
That's why I feel like they just been. I'm be real with you. I think it's bullshit. Like they all of a sudden 60 some years later they find this. Nah, they've known about it the whole time. Someone saw it, they probably didn't want to see it, and they told, and that's what happened.
Oh, I agree. Like I say, for that to actually be the case, I just find that hard to believe, man. I find that very hard to believe that after all these years, this chick went ahead here and they now they got an arrest warrant out for her. So yeah, that's definitely I find that very hard to believe. But
yeah, and they got that Nazi. Did you see that too? I want to ask you about that. They had a Nazi. I guess he was I think he's 101 years old and just sentenced him to 5 years in prison.
Yeah, I saw that. That was actually on the platform last night. I just didn't get a chance to tweet it out or whatnot, but yeah, I need to curate that and add a little something to it. But yeah, that was on the platform as well. So definitely, that's definitely something that we can definitely discuss. Also, maybe hold up space for that and whatnot. And like I said, I want to see what's gonna develop with the Emmett Till thing and whatnot. But we can definitely hold a space and talk about that as well. But just by
definitely, brother, because there's a whole bunch of stuff I want to talk to you about. The R. Kelly mess. Till. Like I said, we'll go ahead and get to topic at hand. But I wanted to ask you about that and Warnock too. I don't know if you heard about that. He's leading the polls, I guess, over Herschel Walker. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll get to it later.
Okay, no problem. Just by a show of hands, has anybody seen the BET Awards this year? Taraji P. Henson was she was the presenter. She was the host, I guess you could say, of the award show. And Taraji, she tried to put on a show. She tried to do her best to entertain people, man. But it was just from the opening video for the opening performance, I should say, it was pretty much all staged. It was pretty much you had the first three people to appear on there was Lizzo, Taraji P. Henson, and Janelle Monáe. And it was all, it was all about pushing a certain agenda and everything else. Ray, I see you got your hand up.
I wouldn't say that I didn't watch the whole thing. Like, I kind of just watched a little bit of it, like when Eva Marseille was on. Because I'm just going to be honest, I guess I'm getting a little older. I'm getting closer to 40. I don't really know a lot of artists.
Oh, I'm with you on that too, but because that the BET Award, and truthfully, if it wasn't for Newstoter, I wouldn't know a lot of these artists, period. But because we do have entertainment, we have music, we have rap, we have sports, and we have everything else on there as well. I haven't been putting it out there on the Twitter as much. We have that as well. So, and then I also saw that the way they promote the BET Awards, that this is the culture. So this is what I want to talk to everybody tonight. Like, is this really Black culture? Because I watched about 3 hours of it. I didn't watch every single thing, but I watched more than enough to go ahead and form an opinion. And I also I jotted down quite a bit of notes tonight too, like just to go ahead and when we talk about the culture, maybe I'm wrong, because to me, culture and what that's supposed to represent, like that's totally different. For one, like I say, it was known from beginning when it jumped off, you had Taraji P Henson. She was the host. Her main thing she came out initially talking about was about the Roe versus Wade and this and that. They made sure they mentioned Lizzo, who was performing that. Lizzo had donated $1 million to the Planned Parenthood. They also Janelle Monae came out there. Janelle Monae started speaking, and it was like it was scripted. She wanted to go ahead and give a shout out first. And I wrote this down. She wanted to give a shout out to Pride Month. She said it was Black Music Month, but she's like, let me go ahead and shout out Pride Month. Let me shout out the Black queer artists. Let me shout out Black women. Let me shout out Black non-binary artists and whatnot. But at the same time, not one thing did she say anything about men, period. Like not heterosexual men, not black men, but it was all about all this other stuff. Now you celebrating Black Music Month. We do know that black men contribute a whole hell of a lot to the music industry, not only in this country but the world. So while you shouting out everybody, you talking about the non-binary people, you talking about the queer folk, you talking about the trans folk, you talking about black women. What a shout out to black men at? I mean, she ain't too. Janelle ain't that young where she don't know about some of the impact that people like Smokey Robinson and Motown and Michael Jackson and Prince and some of these other people that I'm sure she grew up listening to or liked or whatever her family members like. She ain't giving out one shout out to them. So what's up with that? Go ahead, Ray.
You actually do have a point because after the World Award show went off, I want to say it was Lil Nas X. He, I guess, had a I ain't gonna say through a bitch fit, but I guess he had a something to say about the fact that he didn't get nominated. And I'm just like, for what? The fuck you gonna get nominated for? I mean, yeah, I get it's Pride Month or whatever, but if you ain't got no hits, you know how the music industry that's more of a what have you done for me lately kind of business. You got to keep cranking out the hits, and he just how the fuck you gonna get nominated? Your ass ain't did nothing.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that. Like I said, but like I say, I'm trying to figure out because this is one thing that shocked the hell out of me. And the thing is like they was paying homage to a bunch of international people. Like I don't have a problem with that, but they have actually made categories in the BET Award actually for international artists. Like I say, I'm gonna recap that because I'm gonna give you the 3 hours that I seen. I wrote down some little jots and whatnot from the people that was performing to some of the people that said something, you know, they came off and they let you know that Puffy was being honored. Puffy was going to get an award, this and that, Lifetime Achievement Award. But you know who the first male artist that they showed on there? The first male artist that they showed, and he did a performance. He did the first performance of any man on there was a white dude, the rapper Jack Harlow. He did a song. He had Lil Wayne out there with him. He had Brandy out there. So the first male artist you have on BET Awards is Jack Harlow. On top of this, you're talking about the Planned Parenthood. You're talking about Roe versus Wade because Taraji made the comment that guns are protected more than women are. Like guns take lives, and women make lives if they want to. So you had that. Then you had Janelle Monae say F the Supreme Court. She said that this is Black Music Month. I want to give a shout out to I want to give a shout out. It's Black Music Month, but she's doing Pride Month as well. She's doing Pride Month. She gave a shout out to the Black queer artists. She gave a shout out to Black women. She gave a shout out to Black non-binary artists. But she didn't give not one shout out to a Black man. Not one shout out to a Black man. So that's what I'm talking about. They also created this category, and I don't even know what the hell this is. I've never even heard this. They created a category talk about the best R&B pop artists. First off, that it don't even make damn sense. R&B and pop are not the same thing. So how are you gonna create? They created a category talk about the best R&B pop artists, and I'm like, what in the world are we talking about? Jasmine Sullivan won that. Okay, and Jasmine Sullivan says that men need to stand with the women on the abortion issue. Have their back. They'll have our back. So we need to stand with them on the abortion issue. So the first few speakers of it was already politically charged. It was trying to make a point, this and that. Like I say, then you bring Jack Harlow out there. The next two speakers, the first person that performed was Lizzo. Then you had Taraji, because Taraji's the host. You had Janelle Monae come up there and say something about all this and that. Then the first award given to was a female R&B pop artist, Jasmine Sullivan won that. Jasmine had to say her little thing. Then, like I said, the first male to perform on there was not a black male. It was Jack Harlow. Then the next two presenters was Will Packard and Idris Elba. So just to make, just go ahead, Ray, because I see you got your hand up. But like I say, I got plenty more I want to talk about. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna let you know you're making some really great points. It seems to me, like you said, they're pushing an agenda. Someone is giving these people an agenda to push. Because I'm just gonna be honest, we have Black History Month because we have, decades of stuff that we went through, and we need to honor that. But what have the LGBT been through for them to need a whole month? That's compared to the things that we've been through.
Well, they got a whole month, and like I say, Janelle Monet, she made sure to mention Pride. She mentioned that it's Black Music Month now. She can mention Black Music Month and whatnot, but then she went ahead and she talked about Pride Month, and she gave a shout out to everybody that was anything except a Black man in the building.
Yeah, that's very intentional. I don't, things like that don't happen on accident. That's the handlers telling them to do that type of stuff.
Yeah. So I'm listening to this chick, and then like I say, the first man to come up there is a non-black man, is a white man, Jack Harlow. You can't tell him that he ain't black. He up there, he doing his little rap with he got Brandy up there. Brandy up there rapping with him. Brandy rapping, and you got Lil Wayne. Yes, Brandy's rapping. Brandy's got a rap. Brandy's up there spitting bars with this dude here. You can't tell Jack that he ain't down, he ain't black. Also, I heard that he's supposed to be playing in the new movie, the remake of White Men Can't Jump. As Woody Harrelson part on that. So, yeah, like I don't even know why the hell they remade that or rebooted that, but yeah,
we really got to start gatekeeping our culture. That is just the honest to God truth. I just wanted to make sure I added that in because, like you said, the BET Awards, we invite Eminem, we invite Jack Harlow, Machine Gun Kelly, and all these other cats, on our platform. But not that long ago, I remember Beyonce had a country record that was like huge, and they wouldn't even put her on the damn ballot. And another thing too, I wanted to speak on that you said that was interesting. They always, tell men, we need to be quiet on abortion thing. They, on the other hand, say we need to support them. Like, okay, which one do you want? You tell us to stay out of it, but then you want us to like quietly support.
Yeah, because
really have it both ways.
1 minute is not our business. We ain't got no say in it. Because your girl Lotto, she won the Lotto, the rap girl. I guess Lotto, because she changed her name. It was short for Mulatto. She went to Lotto. She won the best new artist, I believe, best new artist. And she was saying that too. I ain't gonna let no man tell me what to do with my body. And I'm like, okay. And matter of fact, she put on a little twerk show later on with her little outfit and whatnot. So, like I say, it's a lot to unpack tonight. Luckily, I looked at this thing here, and trust me, it was hard looking at this shit here too. So it sucked, and I had to look at it, and I'm like, good lord, but I had to jot down some notes. So I'm glad we got some hands up because I'm gonna unpack some more. I'm gonna let y'all speak, but trust me, we gonna get into it tonight. This is Black culture. This is what Black culture done went to. Like I'm telling you, they done gave a damn award at the BET show, the best international artist. Like, what in the hell are you talking about? Dee, I see you got your hand up. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
I'm from Washington, D.C. I was born in 1980. I'm from Southeast D.C. Anybody ever been in D.C., they will understand the demarcation lines. BT has never been a corporate, have never represented us. Only thing BET have done has exploited us for corporational dollars. That's it, that's all. BT was the first social media beforehand because the same thing that goes on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, it was going on. They just brought rappers on or whoever on to do the same exact jackass shit. So BT have never represented us, ever. Ever, 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 ever. Even when it was black owned, it wasn't black owned because it pledged no allegiance to the black American. But it exploited us. That's all what BET did. It exploited us. And it corrupted a whole generation. Well, I would say 2 generations. I would say 2 generations even. But it just corrupted us. That I remember me in 95 or 94 when see Dolores Tucker was saying rock music and Calvin Butts. That man, I thought they was whack. And what they were talking about was crazy because these black men making money, these black women making money, so on and so on and all of that. But they were right. And BT pushed this down our throat. So any debauchery in our culture, of which we would say, we don't want to accept that. It comes from BET. So technically, I think BET owe us reparations because we supported them, and while we were supporting them, they were pushing a whole bunch of BS. And I'm not even talking about the gangsterism or none of that. The Democrat, Republican, whichever. But they were just pushing a whole bunch of programming. And right now we have the word which is called trending. But at the time, as I said, I was born in the 80s. We didn't have a word that was called trending. But that's all they were doing was pushing dysfunction. But it was based on what's trending, based on the athletes or the rap artists or the R&B artists, the soul artists, whoever is so on and so on. So I will land my plane on this, that I'm just happy that we are actually seeing the forest for what it really is, opposed to seeing the forest for what it is presented. And this is a good discussion that we should have. Well, has BET represented us right? No. I take offense of the Africans talking about, well, BT owe them something, like they entitled. BT, even if it's bad, that's the same thing with the Clarence Thomas situation. Even if it's bad, it's still ours. It ain't theirs. It's still ours. So we should be able, we the ones who should critique it or improve upon it or say, let it go into the hellfire. Not someone that comes from somewhere else, so on and so on. But the thing with BET is just, it was available. And I land my plane on that.
Let me say, Brother Dita, you made some good points, and the points you're making is, and me and you, we around the same age. We grew up in that same era and whatnot. So what you're saying is what older black people at the time said. When BET initially first came on, you and I were both little kids. Like when it very first came on, BET changed its lineup. You know, at first BET did have more family structure stuff. BET did have more things geared to all ages. But as the late 80s and 90s started coming on, BET totally changed that, because at one time BET had shows on. BET used to, on Saturdays, they used to show the HBCU football game of the week. They used to show all kinds of different.
They had Teen Summit. Remember
they had,
that?
Yeah.
With Yolanda Lewis? They had Teen Summit.
No doubt. They had stuff like that was geared towards everybody, like a family type structure. But as rap started taking off, as music started taking off, as music videos to compete with MTV, what they became was the black version of MTV. They was like, okay, well, there's a big gap here. MTV's not going to put all of these. They're not. They might be putting Michael Jackson, Lionel Richie, and Whitney Houston, and some of them on there, but they ain't gonna put all this new stuff. They ain't gonna put this rap and all this stuff on here. So there's a lane for us. So you're right. And then a lot of older black people at that time that was in they late 30s and 40s, they started to get pissed off with BET. They're like, well, hey, BET going a whole totally different route than what they said. Like if you want to say that you a black music channel, then say you the black music channel, but don't say that you black entertainment, because you're geared to one type of thing. And you can say, like, as rap started to get harder and this and that, they glorified it to a certain degree and they made money off it. So what you're saying is no different than, like you saying, a lot of people at the time, we thought a lot of people was bootlegs. We thought C. Dolores Tucker, because Pac called her out, we thought she was a bootleg. We Reverend Bust, and of course some of them were bootleg. Now I ain't gonna say that, but even at times, like, you had people like
technically all of them are bootleg, because this is one thing. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to cut you. This is what I want all of the family to know. And you could just check the research. You could do anything with it. If any black person they put on a TV or they glorifying them, they are bootleg, or they are some way associated with it. Because at the end of the day, if you look at it, Martin Luther King got a holiday. Why do Malcolm don't have a holiday? Most people don't know Malcolm's birthday is May 19th.
Well, Malcolm not gonna get a holiday compared to Dr. King, because Malcolm, some of the stuff he said pissed white people off to this day. So,
he wasn't in league with them. The Nation of Islam wasn't. Well, the Nation of Islam was in league with them to a certain degree, right. But he wasn't in league with them.
I'm gonna come back to you because we got a few other hands up. So keep that energy. I'm gonna come back to you. Let me go to Kelsey. She was next. Kelsey, you got your hand up, and everybody in the spot, go ahead and tweet out the spot if you're not following Newstoter. Make sure you're following us up in the jumbotron. You can see our articles that we posted today. You can see that we stay busy curating news. We're the #1 black curator today in Black America. We're the biggest, largest news aggregated site in America. So go ahead and support Newstoter. Kelsey, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Peace, power, and reparations to the room. I kind of lost my thoughts. So you can come back to me.
Okay. Well, just keep the thoughts. Know that we on the BET thing, so we'll come back to you. Anything that you got to talk about, does BET represent black culture? So if you get your thought back, go ahead and raise your hand up, and we'll come back to you. Truth, you had your hand up. I'm glad that you was able to come through tonight, Truth.
Oh, thank you. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
I have a couple of things to say about it, especially that Jack Harlow thing opening the show. I don't know if you know, but right before the BET show, him and Brandy had some little thing going on. He was on some radio station or something, and he was talking about he didn't know that Ray J was her brother, and so they had some little thing going on, and she put up some little tweets about calling him out, et cetera, stuff like that. So she did say something about rapping then, that she could rap harder than him or something like that to that extent. But yeah, they had some little thing going on because of the fact that Ray J, he didn't know that Ray J was her brother. And then whoever said that, I'm not sure who it was. I think it was Ray. You was right when you said Nas X had a bitch fit, because that's exactly what it was. I haven't listened to it, but somebody sent me a thing where he's supposed to have did some kind of diss record to BET, calling them bitches and all that kind of stuff because they didn't nominate him for anything. And what was the last thing I had to say on that? It was.
But what, they gonna keep nominating for the same old song he had like 3 years ago?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It was me, sister. Like I said, the music business, that's more of a what have you done for me lately type of business. You got to keep cranking out hits to stay relevant. He hasn't done anything in years, especially to be nominated. Fuck him. Right. That's stupid.
Yeah, because he's a gimmick. He got it started by being a gimmick. So, I mean, you have nothing left after your gimmick is up. So,
exactly. And my thing is, I think it was more of a gimmick than what people think it was, because there was some. I wish I could find that article. There was somebody who knew him from back in the day that said that he wasn't gay, that this was all a gimmick to blow up like he did. And at one point I saw where he put a tweet up talking about he missed pussy, and I was like, "What? Ain't you gay?" But yeah, he put something up saying that. And then he also said something about "fuck your kids." That's what when he said that, because my little grandson was singing that song at one point, and I
I remember that. That was like a year or two ago.
Hey, I know everybody want to speak, but let's let Truth speak, and then let's let Kelsey. Let's try to keep our hands up. So we're gonna get back to you, Dee. So everybody wants to speak, just put your hand up so it doesn't mess with anybody's thought process. So
actually, he was helping. Actually, he was helping my thought process, to tell you the truth, because but that did happen where he said that. And then when he saw that people were like, "What? Fuck your kids." He tried to clean that up and say it in a different type of way, especially with Charlemagne. When he said that, and Charlemagne, who I can't stand, said something to him, he tried to clean it up. But the damage was already done at that point. And so he became somebody that was banned on the list as far as with my grandkids and stuff, especially when he started doing all that devil shit and being pregnant and sucking in the prison and all that them videos that he did and stuff like that. They no longer allowed to even mention that name up around here. But I'm gonna end on that for now. I had one other point, but I can't think of it right off the top. But I'm gonna end right there.
No doubt. Kelsey, Kelsey, I think she's got her thought process back. Kelsey, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Okay, yeah, I do have my thought process back a little bit. What I just wanted to piggyback off for Miss Truth was she's exactly right. I think that they promote different agendas for anything to just for people to grab onto. They're promoting the same sex agenda. They're promoting intersectionalism. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my thoughts together. They're promoting so much stuff. I saw there's a video floating around of the Gay Pride Parade where you got these people literally naked riding around on bikes and just showing their genitalia to children. How disgusting. And also they're promoting what is it, the hoism, and just they don't care, like the whole thing with the women,
oh yeah,
they're just come fuck me, I'll suck you, and excuse my language, I don't like talking like that, but all that type of stuff. And I remember, because I'm a late millennial, I was born in 86. So I remember in the early 90s with the Freakniks and all that other stuff, but now it's just really out of control. And you do have a troll in here, T.S. Giselle, just stay listening. Don't even come up here to talk. You just listen.
We know TS. Trust me, we that's what TS does, is come and troll and whatnot. So we definitely know TS up in the spot, and what TS come to do is the troll and cut up in here. So, but you're right though, like the outfits that the women wear and whatnot. When you look at it, man, like I mean, and these are the same women that talk about respect and respecting them and treating them like a lady and this and that, yada yada yada. But man, you look like you should be at the strip club with these outfits, and then they sitting up there. It used to be a time, not to cut you off, Kelsey, but it used to be a time where award shows, like the family sat around and actually watched award shows. But you can't sit up there when they up there twerking and popping it like that. I mean, they all sitting up there. You had Chloe, you had Lotto, you had some of these other chicks. Like I said, they was up there and they was twerking it hard and they was moving and this and that. Like I could just imagine like the older generation, like having the grandma around and this and that. And they sitting and they see the outfits. Oh Lord, they was up there like, hey, it's like being at a strip show almost. It's like getting a strip tease, and you got kids up in there and they watching it. It's not like the award shows that I watched growing up and whatnot. It's adult shows really.
Exactly, and it's like they promote this whole culture, but tell the whole truth. It's not funny when you get burnt. It's not funny when you catch a disease you can't get rid of. You know what I mean? It's not funny when you got you having these baby bodies, nothing, these no good men. You have a baby to take care of. They're not telling the whole side of the story, and I'm just really, I don't even watch BET. I haven't watched BET since like 2005, to be completely honest. I don't even watch TV. I'm more into reading and educating myself. So, but I'm gonna land my plane there. I just wanted to get that off my chest.
No doubt, no doubt. And I see you're not following Newstoter, so make sure you go ahead and follow Newstoter. Like I said, largest black news curation site in Black America today. So make sure that you're following us. If you want to stay up to date, you can look at the Jumbotron and see the kind of content we put out. We put that out daily. So make sure you follow Newstoter, and we will keep you up to date. People in here can tell you the kind of content that we put out. So thank you for speaking, and don't be afraid to speak again. Raise your hand when you want to speak again. Ray, I'm gonna go Ray, and then I'm gonna go True. and then DJ. Ray, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Also, like Kelsey, I was also born in '86, and a lot of stuff she said is definitely true. I started watching BET around that same time, around like '05, like kind of after, I think it was 106 The Park went off. I was like, yeah, I've kind of lost interest in it. But I wanted to, while we were talking about like kind of whole culture, did anyone else see? I think her name is Summer Walker's outfit.
Yeah, I saw it.
Summer Walker's whole titties were out. She just had like, I guess you call them like gold pasties or whatever you want to call them. But yeah, her titties were just all the way out. So like you said, back in the day, man, I could sit down and watch it. You know what I'm saying? But you can't do that. Like I can't take my kids and let them watch that. That's just straight up film. And while we were talking about Lil Nas X, it's something else that we need to talk about too. And I hate that this happened with this dude because when he came out as kind of like a gimmick rapper. He came out, singing kids songs. He was performing at kids' school. And then, his next single is just like, he's like, fuck the kids. It's like, no, that's how you came up. It's singing basically, that old time road song, it sounds kind of like a nursery rhyme type of song. So naturally, if you're a kid, you're thinking, okay, well, he sings like kind of kid songs. I want to see what he's going to do next. And next thing you know, like she said, he's twerking naked in the shower and all sorts of craziness. That's just that to me, that's obviously just too far. And stuff like that, like I said, that needs to be gatekeeped because I want to say, what's his name? I believe his name is Bob Johnson. He was the owner. Didn't he sell BET?
Bob Johnson sold it to Viacom. Viacom owns MTV, VH1, all of this stuff. So, BET is just a black, and like I said, and that's why I want to hold this space tonight, because when I talk about black culture, I'm not talking only about the actual, the artist that was up there performing. I'm talking about the actual ownership of BET. BET is black managed and white owned, a blackface organization. BET, even with Robert Johnson was there, like he said, what's his name said earlier, like they started slipping in. Even towards the end, BET started slipping and just just solely going for ratings and whatnot. So that's another thing. I'm gonna get into like that because I wrote down the people that was the advertisers that picked up on that and everything else. So I'm gonna uncork all of this tonight because let me before I go ahead and pass it to you, Truth. Let me just write down. These are the advertisers. Let's see if this is so much about culture. Let's see all these black-owned businesses and stuff that bought advertisement space during the BET Awards. We had Pine Sol, we had Burger King, we had Prime Video, we had Nissan, we had Geico, we had Procter and Gamble. They was a sponsor of BET Awards. You had Smirnoff, you had Zebra.com, you had Credit Karma, you had Thumbtacks, you had GoodRx, you had MGM Grand, you had C-SPAN, Target, Comcast, McDonald's, GoArmy.com, Doritos, you had Walmart, you had Xfinity, you had Orchid, you had Safe Light, you had Francisca's, you had Cash App, you had Neighbor.com, you had BetterHelp.com, you had FloydHome.com, you had LemonMade.com, you had SmartNews.com, you had Upgrade.com, you had Scott's Cheap Flights, you had Minute, you had Insurity, RedParket.com, Business Dave, you had State Farm. So, I mean, for a black-owned space, it's supposed to be about black business, about black culture and whatnot. How many actually black businesses up there, was actually had advertisement space or was a sponsor or anything major on there? They had a couple people up there. They were saying that I think he had a brother that had an app or something like that, and he had a couple people here and there. But for it's supposed to be a night about the culture and whatnot. Well, culture wise, in terms of business and everything else and representation, because you don't own BET, okay, you don't own it, so you don't own BET, you don't own wherever the place was, wherever the actual BET award show was at. You had all these different awards and stuff. You had a damn pop R&B award. I mean, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Now you're mixing pop and R&B. They're supposed to be two separate categories. Now you're talking about that there's a pop and R&B award. So now you're just totally selling out as much as you can to try to fit the masses. And like I say, there's more stuff that I'm gonna let go and just mention and whatnot. But it was crazy. It was totally crazy. Truth, we got a new speaker up, so I'm gonna let FBA Antonio go.
Real quick before you go to that, brother. I just wanted to add one little quick thing. why are all those companies that aren't black so interested in the BET Awards? That's another dynamic that we need to think about. I heard Walmart, I heard Procter and Gamble, etc. And Pamela, do your research on Procter and Gamble, because I want to say it was Dr. Gamble. He was actually, I want to say his grandfather was a white supremacist. They led like this mass slaughter of black people. I want to say it was in North Carolina.
No doubt, no doubt. They're interested because black people spend money. They know that black people are the biggest consumers in the country. So, hey, this is going to be at a award show. Think about all the outfits that black people spend. How many designers that they were wearing that night going out to the party? They go in a white establishment. They're wearing designer clothes made by white people. They're riding in vehicles made by white people or Asian people. I mean, they stay at hotels that white people own. They eat at restaurants that white people own. They're on a network that white people own. So it makes sense that all the advertisers will be white. So when they say the culture, then I guess it is the culture. This is the culture of us just spending money with other people and not taking care of ourselves. Bob Johnson could have sold BET to another black person, There's other black people that had money to buy, but Bob Johnson cashed out. He went then and bought the Washington Wizards. He went and then he made Michael Jordan the co-owner with him, and then he sold his percentage of the team to Michael Jordan. So and then Bob Johnson is the main one sitting up here saying that black people should get reparations and black people should do this and black people should do that. We should get reparations. And I'm glad that he talks about the reparations. But Bob Johnson could have kept it all in the family. He could have sold this to another black person. He could have sold it to a group of black people to go ahead and take over. But he didn't. He was looking to get his coin and cash out. So that's where we at right now as a people.
Hey, FBA Antonio, right there, real quick, Todd, on that right there.
Let me let
right there at the end.
Let me let FBA Antonio just chime in real quick, DJ, and just come behind him real quick.
For sure. I'm going to just say this one little thing. How do we know that Bob Johnson wasn't for the selling? Kind of like Suge Knight did to Vanilla Ice. You see what I'm saying? So I just want to say that. But go ahead, FBA says. Go ahead.
FBA Antonio, you there?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, man. Look, man, my opinion on does the BET Awards represent the black culture? Listen, this is all propaganda. I know I came in super late, you know what I'm saying? So I just stepped in here, so I don't know if it was already said yet. But I'm sure we all know that. It's just straight propaganda. That's it. They're trying to steer us into the culture that they want us to be. It's all this is all they, with the white folks in charge. Nah, they was always in charge, even when the black face was ahead of it. They still had to answer white folks. But we saying now they got white representation. You can't be no sort of, if you a man that embody manhood characteristics, you ain't gonna be in the BET Awards, dog, because you a threat to what they trying to impose on us. So you got to come in there dressing like a girl, and then the girls got to come dressed like men. And that's the bastardized, degenerate ass, excuse my language, degenerate culture that they want to make us the face of. And then you got the few that they will capitulate to get that check, and they don't mind selling out the community. They don't think they coons. Because, man, I'm just trying to feed my family, dog. They on that type of time. When really, bro, your image and the content that you're putting out, your and I know people say this all the time. You control what your children watch. You can control what they listen to. You can't, okay? Because this ain't 40 and 30 years ago. Okay, the kids can hear it everywhere. Even if they didn't have a phone, they know all of their friends got one. So the point that I'm gonna land right here, man. That's definitely the culture today. Well, I'll say it better than that. That's not how we represent ourselves, but they're forcing that sort of representation on us, and that's why nobody watching this shit no more. This ain't when James Brown was up there with Michael Jackson. This ain't none of that. This ain't nothing where people we ain't gonna tune into that. We don't want our listen, man. I got 3 children. I'd be damned if I let my kids turn on this so-called black entertainment television just to see men walking around here with thongs probably on and furry uglies. I'm not about to do that. I'm still raising my boy to be a man and my daughters to be women, man. I'll land right there.
No doubt. DJ, I know you wanted to go ahead and chime in. Go ahead. Hey, DJ.
I'm here. Apologies about that. So obviously a lot has been said already. So to make a long story short, what I said to you, Tyler, the one thing we got to understand, how do we know these folks didn't force Bob Johnson to sell BET? And, you're going to give us this black entertainment company because you scaled it and built it already. You see what I'm saying? And if you go listen to people like Noriega from the Drink Champs of Capone and Noriega, the rap group, he said it, them folks came for me, bro. And they was like, yeah, we want you to do this, that, and the third. So, like, this little, when the rappers, I guess, be saying the Illuminati and the high ups, you know what I'm saying? These people really do exist. It's like they call them the rap police, you know what I'm saying? And this has been going on for well over 30 years. So at the end of the day, I think that's the one thing we got to look at, too, which is the flip side of the coin. Yeah, Bob Johnson should have sold it to another black person that had bread at the time, or broke it down into a franchise, or a company where other board members could come on and put their money up. That would have been dope. But maybe he was being greedy, or maybe he just wanted out, or whatever the case be. But I yield there.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't know. Like I said, he went ahead and he was the first black person to own an NBA franchise. So I don't know exactly. You never know what happens behind the scene, but I think Bob Johnson, a lot of that. Let's be for real. BET went in the direction of how Bob Johnson managed it. So Bob Johnson decided to go to a solely musical platform, and he went ahead and he tried to cash in as much as he could. So I think you have to put the blame at his feet right there. I don't know if he got proposition. They told him, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, or whatever. But Bob Johnson ain't hurting for no money. That's for sure. And, I just don't know. Like I say, to what I saw last night in terms of or what I saw today, because I actually saw the video today. I mean, the award show was ridiculous. The sister said, Kelsey said earlier, like, I mean, you have these women sitting up here talking about this. They're supposed to be so independent and so free, yet you sitting up here wearing almost nothing. And if a man says something about it, I mean, he has no right to say anything, but yet you barely got any damn clothes on. You sitting up on the floor twerking. Chloe came in there. She basically gave old boy a lap dance at the damn show. I mean, she was up there twerking and giving him a lap dance and whatnot. So you can't really say anything if these people disrespect you or whatever. Truth, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, also, I was wondering if anybody saw, I guess she labeled herself, when she did that slut walk. I don't know if anybody know, but Amber Rose called herself trying to rap now. And this video that she had to this rap, I don't know if anybody's seen it, but that's some trashy ass garbage stuff. And there is an agenda. There's an agenda to take our kids, and I don't know if they're trying to make them conform to different identities or what they're trying to do. But just like they try to tout the gay pride as a family event, and just like the young lady said, people out there with their stuff hanging out, ass hanging out, and I mean, how do you explain that to your kids, gay or not? You're a gay parent, but how do you explain that to your kids, and why is it okay for your kids to be around that kind of stuff? They just arrested some kind of drag queen. I can't remember what the name is, but had 25 counts of sexual pornography and sexual literature that she was putting in a Dropbox. And the thing that was so disturbing about it is she had all these different titles. She had like these. She was head of the LB. Oh, y'all know what I'm talking about, the alphabet thing. She's head of that. She was involved in AIDS research and all this different kind of stuff, and helping kids come out. And then she charged with 25 counts of child pornography. And if people want to get mad when you want to side-eye them, when they have them reading to your kids in the library and blah, 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 want to get mad when you do that. Well, if you want to get mad from now, because I'm going to talk about it, and I'm a side-eye you, and there's really no proving yourself to me, just as long as I know you ain't touched my kid. But you can't prove to me that you won't do it, because, like I said, this person had all kind of official titles that would get them in a room with kids. But all that
person's name was Bryce Young.
Yeah, there you go. and that reading to kids in the library and all this other shit. I don't know what their agenda is, but you ain't finna get mine. And I'll end there.
Yeah, here's the thing too, Ray. I'm gonna give it to you, but one of the awards that went last night was best. Well, I keep saying last night, but one of the awards that went at the BET Awards was called Best Collaboration, and Best Collaboration Essence, I think, and the winner of that was Wizkid, the Afrobeat rapper from Nigeria. Wizkid, Tim's, and Justin Bieber won the award, and they was Wizkid wasn't there. But they said we want to go and give a shout out for, and Justin Bieber wasn't there, but they want to give a shout out for this award. Is for Wizkid, and this is for Africa, and this is for Nigeria. So, like I say, I just hope that in Africa that they have some whatever award show they have, that they make sure they leave a place for Black Americans to come over there and claim their trophy. Because let's be for real, Afro beats is just a watered down version of what hip hop is. So if y'all coming over here and y'all getting awards and you know what I'm saying, we paved the way. And also, I don't want to hear nothing about no damn. You don't have any culture either. So you got plenty of culture that you come into the award shows that that we do, and y'all winning awards and whatnot. So I just wanted them to keep that same energy. And like I say, Tim's, whoever Tim's is, the girl or whoever Tim's them or whoever, because like I said, I don't listen to this stuff. I mean, I have to be for real. Like I grew up in the real hip hop age and whatnot. So to me, it's kind of like, and I try not to hate or whatever, because being in the media, you do come across content like this and that. But you know, I just have to be real or whatever. Like I don't know who Tim's is. Wizkid, my kids, they hear it on the radio. They like the little beat or whatever. First, I thought it was like reggae or something like that. So I didn't even know that it was Afro beats or whatever. But they won they got an international award. You know what I'm saying? They won this best collaboration and this and that. So yeah, I just the time and point you're talking about black people don't have culture and all this and that, I don't want to hear it. And like I say, I want that same treatment in Nigeria and Ghana and all these other places. And same with the K-pop. You got the Asians up here doing their version of hip hop and stuff. So this is what black culture looks like letting everybody go ahead and take it. Also, Busta Rhymes was in the house last night. We know Busta's whole viewpoint on hip hop and whatnot. Busta was on there doing a dedication Pass the Cavassier song with what him and Puffy had. They talk Pass the Ciroc because Puffy owns Ciroc or whatever. So they were talking Pass the Ciroc or whatever. But Busta's one of the main ones talking about it was Jamaicans and stuff who created hip hop. So this is the kind of stuff you got to look at too. Like down the road, you're gonna have Nigerians and stuff. Are they gonna be saying that we hip hop was about to die until we came in the scene and we gave it a whole nother lane, a whole nother market, and this and that. So you got to be kind of careful of this stuff right here because, like I see a lot of black people. You had Jack Halo was the first male to perform. You had Wizkid and you had Tim's and you had Justin Bieber. They won an award for best collaboration. So you got two Africans and you got a white dude. Then you got the international award. So, like I said, then you had Billy Porter coming down doing like the Billy Porter did his little drag runway and whatnot and all this and that. So it was quite the show last night. I mean, it was quite the show when it came out. So um, because we got your mama. They hadn't spoke. So your mama, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Shalom, family. I just wanted to say real quick, I haven't watched that BET. Well, I don't watch BET anymore, period. And I definitely don't watch that damn awards show. It's turned into nothing but a circus. Only it's a demonic circus. This is an old formula that is being used against us, and it's a mechanism for destroying a people. It's a mechanism for genocide. First step is to vilify the target. Make them the face of everything negative. And that's what's been going on. Second step is to blame all of society's ills on that group of people. You got us being the face of crime, of disease. They tried to put COVID on us. And if you remember back, they tried to put AIDS on us too. in the very beginning. And then now they're trying to put this, white women are all excited about this abortion ban, and they're trying to make Clarence Thomas the face of that bullshit. Third step, extermination. All these so-called suicides that have been popping up the past couple of years, all these black men supposedly hanging themselves in public spaces. Well, we know what that is. That ain't nobody's goddamn, excuse my language, ain't nobody's suicide. You got mass incarceration. That's a part of extermination. You've got public executions with these police just shooting us down in the streets. And then you've got this push toward this homosexual, transsexual agenda, which is part of what is called the Committee of 300. They have been sitting back and setting this up since the 1920s, where they want to eliminate blacks and most of the population. Actually, they want to get the world's population down to 500 million people. So what I'm saying is BET Awards doesn't reflect black culture at all. It reflects what they would like to portray as black culture, which once again is a way to make us illegitimate in the world's eyes. And I'm gonna land right there for right now. Thank you.
No doubt. Thank you. Appreciate it. What I found interesting before I give it back to you, Ray, and before I found Ray and DJ, I don't know why you went ahead and did that, but but yeah, what I found interesting is that we had a couple, like you had Idris Elba and you had Daniel Kaluuya, I believe his name, the one that played Fred Hampton in the actual movie, and you had I think you had maybe three non-black people, three non-black Americans.
The guy that played Martin Luther King Jr. is a couple of these jokers, man. Idris Elba when he played
he was
in The Wire. You know what I'm saying? You from UK, Black Young London. You ain't a Black American drug dealer. You're like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
Yeah. So I found that. I just found that a little bit. I found that fascinating. Not that I have anything against it, because they're talented. They're talented individuals, no doubt about that. And like Idris has never spoken ill about Black Americans, so I don't have any issue with him or this and that. Like I said, but I did find it interesting that at the award show that's based on Black Americans, that you had quite a few. Like I said, you had quite a few non-Black Americans that was actually taking starring roles and whatnot. So definitely something also to keep an eye on. Like I say, Idris has never spoken ill about Black Americans to my knowledge. So we'll go ahead and like I say, I'm cool with him. I wasn't cool with the one that played the Cynthia Erivo, whatever her name was. I wasn't cool with her playing no damn Harriet Tubman, and definitely not cool with her playing Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul. Especially with some of the nasty comments she made about Black people and Black women in general. But like I say, that's one thing too that we don't do as a culture. We don't call out these people. Nobody ever called out Busta Rhymes for his, him and Pete Rock was sitting up here trying to steal a music genre. So what's that? What'd you say? Truth? You might have to
I'm sorry. I need to mute.
Okay. Yeah, so like I said, nobody called these people out. Nobody called Cynthia Erivo out or anything like that. So when you start letting people up here just destroy your culture and talk all kind of noise, and then they become millionaires and they become stars and celebrities, and they get generational wealth built off of something they people had nothing to do with, and they can play that whole skin game where I'm black just like you and this and that. There's a problem involved in that like that. So, like I say, I also want to see Black people, Black Americans, get roles in the Caribbean and over there in Europe and Africa too. And I don't want to hear people talk about, well, you had a Black person play, you had Forrest Whitaker play Idi Amin. Listen, those were productions. Those were American productions. that was not an African production. That was not a diaspora production. Those were American productions. So you guys are coming here getting roles in American productions that Americans are financing. It's a big difference. When I see somebody from the UK finance something, and then you hire a Black American to come over, you hire Denzel Washington to come over there, then we can talk. But at this point, you know what I'm saying? We got to kind of see how y'all gonna do business as well. So yes, man, I'm gonna go ahead and let you speak. Like I said, I did not allow you to speak because I know how you come in these spots here. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you speak because I know you be wilding and whatnot. Like I say, DJ, next time, man, check with me on this one because like I know
Actually, I did, brother. You looked at the message, but I don't know if you said anything. But
I ain't say nothing.
No, you keep your word, T.S. Giselle. That's all. Come up on the mic and say what you're
okay, right.
Keep your word. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I will. But for the host, I don't understand why you want to have conversations and not have a varying opinion. How is that productive for our society, our culture?
Because last time you was in the spot, man, you was dissing people. What are you talking about? You sitting up and calling people names and starting stuff. It wasn't just that we had a difference of opinion, which I don't care. People in here always have a difference of opinion. But when you start like going at people that's speakers and going at people that's in the actual spot, then like that's a problem. Like I mean, if you was hosting something, I wouldn't come in there calling people names or trying to deliberately get something going. So yeah, and come on, go ahead and ask your.
I understand, but just be aware that I usually only respond when people are nasty to me, which in FBA space that happens a lot. Anyway,
TS, nobody in the spot last time was nasty to you or said anything to you out of the blue.
I don't I don't agree, but that's neither here nor there. Okay. Also, I told
we're gonna agree to disagree then.
Yeah, I told the co-host that I
who got their television on in the background though? Turn that down first of all.
Before TS goes any further, if you guys can go ahead and please contribute or donate to Newstoter $Newstoter on Cash App. That is $Newstoter on Cash App. Thank you, DJ, for your contribution on Cash App. Help support the largest growing Black media curation site in America today. That's Newstoter. If you guys have not, make sure you visit newstoter.com. We are the largest Black curation news website in Black America, Black owned today. So please go ahead and support the growing Black media. You can look in the Jumbotron and you can see all the content that we laid out today with no joke. So please go ahead and support us if you can. If you got $1 that you can contribute on Cash App, $Newstoter. We will be putting the PayPal and the Venmo link also in the app. In the Jumbotron. Go ahead, TS.
And definitely check that stuff in the Jumbotron, y'all. There's a lot of information from newstoter.com, but go ahead, TS.
So, someone has their mic.
Everybody mute your mic if you can. Mute your mic.
Okay, so does BET Awards represent Black culture? Absolutely. It may not be the culture that you want to see, but we're not a monolith. The opinions that I heard, I heard a lot of fallacies. It's important that when we discuss things, yes, everyone has their opinion, but we also need to be factual. It does seem like this is a more conservative crowd, and that's fine. Everyone is entitled to be conservative, but the BET Awards absolutely represent Black culture, and when BET represents Black, it doesn't necessarily represent Black American. It represents the entire Black diaspora. I don't understand why it's an issue that there's a BET International Award or that a foreign Black artist wins an award at the BET Awards, because guess what? Black Americans have been winning awards in other countries' award shows for 100 years because we're that influential. The host reference, well, are they recognizing American artists abroad in Africa? Absolutely. When an American artist, a Black American artist, goes to Africa, they shut the continent down. I'm from North Carolina. The baby just went to Nigeria. I'm not a fan of the baby, but he absolutely shut Nigeria down. They cater to him as if he were a king. You may want to just look at those videos.
Hey, TS, I wanted to ask you real quick. You said there were fallacies. Would you mind speaking on that?
Yeah. So things in terms of referencing Little Nas X. So number one, Little Nas X absolutely had a right to be upset with BET
and I'll tell you why, because I'm a member of the LGBT community. Little Nas X is a bona fide A-list superstar. This young man is
He's a superstar.
yes. Okay, so you laugh, but explain to me how a young man that is a Grammy winner, a Billboard winner, a VMA winner, an American Awards winner, and has the highest streaming song on Billboard charts. Old Town Road broke the record for the most consecutive weeks at number one on the Billboard charts, and he has also won awards from the highest, excuse me, from the most prestigious award shows out there: Grammy, Billboard, VMA, AMA, and in the past the BET Award. Also, Little Nas X has had not one but two number one songs on the Billboard chart. So you guys were incorrect when you stated he has not had a hit song since Old Town Road. He has. He's had two number ones. As a matter of fact, other artists that perform, none of them have had the chart success on Billboard that Little Nas X has. Industry Baby and Call Me By Your Name were number one on the Billboard charts. As a matter of fact, BET nominated Jack Harlow, who is featured on Industry Baby. So he absolutely had a right to have a gripe with BET because black queer people often feel slighted by our own community. So while he has all of the success at other mainstream award shows, the one that matters the most to him, the Black Entertainment Awards, they ignored him. And I think that he had a right to have a rap with BET. Now, did Little Nas X handle it the best? Maybe not. But we're talking about what is he, 21 or 22-year old? Um, None of us handle things at that age correctly. But BET knew that they were in the wrong because that's why they invited the icon, Billy Porter. And that was cute to have a little ballroom, a little faux, clear the runway, tins across the board for the children. That was cute, but it was performative, which is a word the FBA likes to use a lot. Um, Queer people need to be celebrated more in spaces like the BET Awards. For example, Billy Porter. Billy Porter is an entertainment icon. Um, Billy Porter is a Grammy, Tony, um, an Emmy winner. He is one award away from winning EGOT. He only has not won the Oscar. Billy Porter has never received the recognition from the BET Awards, from the NAACP Image Awards that he deserves. Black queer artists often don't receive the recognition that we deserve from our own award shows. And we shouldn't have to only be celebrated at the Grammy, Oscar, Tony, Emmy, and not the awards that belong to us. So that is why Little Nas X was so upset. It does matter. He's very successful, and there's nothing that anyone's opinion can do to stop his success. I wanted to say that. Also, evolution happens. The BET Awards has evolved. Culture has evolved. While you guys have conservative opinions, not everyone thinks like you. So for me, I think that women can dress the way that they want to. That does not mean that they're being whores or prostitutes, etc. But if a woman wants to show skin, she's entitled to show skin. If a ambiguous male wants to cross dress, so be it. If your concern is your children, you can control what your children watch. But I don't think that you should preach hate to your children. I heard someone say that they banned their child from listening to the Lil Nas X. You know, um, to me, that makes children or more curious when you try and take things away from them instead of letting them evolve and learn on their own. We need to understand that black people are not a monolith. And yes, there are black people that are gay. It's like you guys want to hide and not face the facts there. Um, but you guys are in the minority. According to the ratings for the awards show were up 34%. So despite your opinions, you know, black culture is moving forward. This conservative opinion, nature that you guys have, has never been who we are as black people. And so that's all I wanted to say.
Okay, I'm gonna have to uncork a little bit of that because by I know what you're saying, but by definition and by history, Black people have always been somewhat conservative until like the late 1960s, early 70s, as they started becoming more ingrained into the Democratic Party. Now, getting back to what you said about the BET Awards and it's not about Black American, that's nonsense. It was built by a Black American. I mean, it generated the vast majority of its fortune from Black American viewership. So it is definitely a Black American historical type award. That's like saying the Soul Train Award is not a Black American award. It is not a diaspora award. You may include other people from the diaspora, but it is not a diaspora award. Neither
That's not
Soul
what I
Train.
said. I said that celebrating Black people from the diaspora is fine. What's the big deal that Tim's won an award?
There's no big deal. What I'm saying is that I'm looking at BET. I'm saying for the simple fact that I can't say that it's Black culture. For one, BET is not even owned by Black people. Do you agree with that?
So again, I think that you guys are just
No, I mean that's just a simple yes no. Is BET
it's
owned by
not.
Black people?
But you had someone else talking about, well, they're airing commercials for American companies. These are companies that we live and eat by every day.
No,
The companies
I'm saying out of
have
all of the
names.
people, I'm saying out of all the companies, excuse me, all the companies that was on there, not a one of them that I saw that had advertisement space on a show that's supposed to be about the culture, about Black people, was a Black owned company or Black owned business. Now, wouldn't you say that would make sense? Now, I can imagine the Country Music Awards having an award show and all of the advertisers was white or Hispanic or Asian. We've never seen anything like that.
So
I
I
cannot
don't think that
imagine
that's
that.
true. I think that they certainly did air Black-owned businesses, but that's a disingenuous opinion because this is America. We live in a multicultural country.
How is
And
that
white,
that's
white,
disingenuous that not one that I did not mention not one Black owned business on a like I say, BET was founded by a Black man. BET was built off of Black talent, Black American talent. So you're saying it's disingenuous in a country where Black people own less businesses than anybody else that we can somehow have any we had Nissan, we had Fortune 500 companies, and we had web companies on there that did advertisement, and you're saying that I'm being disingenuous because this is supposed to be about the culture. That's all they talked about that night. This is the culture. This is the culture. And also just like hip hop went from being Black culture to what Fat Joe and a lot of other people that take away from Black people say, well, it's not just Black culture. It's everybody's culture. It's everybody's culture because everybody's allowed to come in, but make no mistake, if I was to go to one of these Latin American countries and I was to say salsa was Black American music, everybody would be up in arms. If I was to go to Jamaica and say reggae is everybody's music, is Black American music just as much as Jamaicans, they would be up in arms. If I was to go over there to Rome and I was to say classical music was Black Americans music, they would chase me out the country. Do you at least get what I'm saying on that point?
I mean, I get what you're saying. I think that you should take the higher opinion that we're Black Americans and we have hyper visibility and we're American, and so our influence is tenfold of any Hispanic person or any African person or Caribbean person. So for me, I don't let small, minute things like that bother me. I just take the higher road. At the end of the day, Black American culture is globally influential. We know that, and I just don't think. I think we have bigger fish to fry than being concerned about Jamaicans saying they created hip hop. That's all.
All I'm saying is that our culture, the culture that we create, we end up not capitalizing off of it financially. I'm saying
Now that is
everything that
true.
we.
Well, you should have said that. So I on that point, yes.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that we no longer own BET. We don't have the advertisers up there with the radio stations, the distribution, all of this stuff that's tied to stuff that we invented, whether it be rock and roll, whether it be jazz, whether it be blues. As soon as everybody starts saying that, well, this is our culture. We contributed just as much as you guys. We helped you along the way. It ends up being their culture. Go ask the late Little Richard. Little Richard, like you say, Little Richard, everybody knew that Little Richard, was bisexual at the very least, and Black Americans still loved him. So the whole thing that we're against
So
Black
that's
people,
not a no, sir. I'm not going to give you that because Little Richard had to stay in the closet for 70 years.
stay in the hey, I
Little
don't
Richard
stay in the
died.
closet. How Little Richard, the same
Little
one used to
Richard.
wear the makeup and had a
Little
hat.
Richard
To
died.
gotta go to who? Little Richard
died. Little Richard died in the closet, just like Luther Vandross.
Okay.
Black people have a long way to go in terms
Black
of
people pretty much assumed Luther Vandross was gay, and they still loved him.
Assumed, but he had to hide it, and he could not sing about who he truly loved. You know that to be the case. So you make a great point.
So all of the people that in the Harlem Renaissance and stuff that they knew was gay back then, Langston Hughes and all the other people that they supported and they loved and this and that. You're saying that it was black?
People were always in the background until their deaths. Of course, you're going to be celebrated after you die. It's easy to say that black people accepted Luther Vandross because he's dead, but Luther Vandross was never able to be out and be who he was, and nor was Little Richard. Yeah, we know that Little Richard was gay, but he never came out and acknowledged that publicly because, in particular, he could not because of how our culture views homosexuality. And this is why
there are a bunch of gay people in black society right now in the churches, TLs, and always have been historically that people knew were gay, deacons and everything else, and these people still came to church and interacted with people. So,
but those people are not out of the closet, and you know that.
Okay. So you're saying that black people traditionally have been harder on homosexuals in this country than white people.
Black Americans are extremely homophobic, but
okay. So it was black people that was. Hold on. Let me hold on. You let me hold on. So it was black people doing the shock therapy to gay and LGBT people in this country, and it was black people, not white people, doing that. It was
even worse.
Well, hold on. I'm just gonna ask you one more question. It was black people that had homosexuality listed as a mental disorder, and not white folks.
Yeah. So we're black, and I don't care what they do. Black grandmothers telling black gay boys that you have the devil in you. You have an evil, demonic spirit in you. Cousins telling cousins that they suspect to be gay, that they're going to beat the gay out of you. Absolutely.
And that was all black grandmothers.
Absolutely. But there is a but. And this is the issue that conservative black people are having, such as the people in this group. Black people finally, it only took 100 years, are finally starting to come around the bush and evolve on sexuality and gender. And so it's because I just turned 35 a couple of days ago, but my grandmother, all of my grandparents are deceased. And so that generation that's told that you have a demon in you, and we're not going to act like we don't know about that. But that generation of black people, our grandparents, they're dying off. And black people under the age of 50, I would say under the age of 40, are much more liberal than our grandparents' generation. Would you at least acknowledge that? And the BET Awards that we just watched the last 2 years is a prime example. Where we did have Lil Nas X perform with all male dancers that were queer and did flamboyant feminine moves and even kissed a guy, and with the ballroom scene that we saw. There's gay characters on BET shows now. Even Tyler Perry finally included a gay character in one of his movies, when we know his audience is like that church-going Easter Sunday demographic. So, yes, black people are very homophobic and have been traditionally very homophobic, but that generation is dying off and have died off essentially. And I think that there are still some that are hanging on to the hate that our grandparents taught us about LGBTQ people, that push the notion as an agenda. There's not an agenda. It's 2022. You can't keep gay people off television. There's things we can do to stop.
I'm not gonna. I know we have other people got their hands up, so this is the order that we're gonna go. And if I miss anybody in order, go ahead and correct me. But we got Queen had her hand up, so Queen can go first. Kimberly, Ray. I'm sorry, Queen, Kimberly, Khalees, Ray, your mama, and Truth. So go ahead, Queen. Queen, unmute your mic.
Okay. Good evening, everybody, and Thank you for letting me have the mic. This is an interesting conversation. BET, I'm an old school person, more like your mama. So I pretty much am in agreement with what she said in terms of my perspective of what's happening with that station. So I personally don't look at BET. You know, well, let me take that back. You know, they may run reruns of some old sitcoms. I think Fresh Prince and some other things, and I might look at that in the morning for maybe a half hour or so. But generally, the evening shows I stay away from. You know, when I saw the direction they were headed in, it's certainly not the BET that I was first introduced to, maybe mid '80s or so. So I just don't have the interest in looking at it. I do think there is an agenda there. I do agree with most of what was said about BET. Um, Again, you know, and I think T.S. Giselle is right about I'm probably more of that conservative generation, so I don't particularly care for seeing a lot of the things that they have on BET. You know, have naked people and you know, and especially when we're talking about audiences of youngsters and young people. So I think there's certain things that are very inappropriate for children. So I wouldn't, if I had young children, even let them watch that. So, and I do think, I wonder, you know, also because you were speaking about the sponsorship and, you know, those companies that you read off certainly aren't Black companies. So I'm not real sure what T.S. Giselle was talking about. Or if that was an all-inclusive list, if there were some other companies there that, I don't know, that possibly could have been Black-owned, but it didn't sound like it because they would have needed lots of money to do that type of advertising. So I would say, why are we even watching them? You know, if we're not satisfied with what they are putting out, you know, and those of us who have small children or whatever, if we're watching this, we can certainly keep the children from watching it. But if we are not happy with what we're seeing and we see where it's, you know, really, and I'm going to use the word, you know, the content of what they're showing, in my opinion, has just been deteriorating throughout the years. I just wouldn't even watch it. So I just kind of wonder if we have, you know, again, maybe it is maybe some of the older generation of individuals. You know, if we're not happy with it, why are we watching it? Why are we even giving them the satisfaction of watching it? Why even give them that little bit of ratings? I don't think their ratings are even that high. And I wonder if we were to take that position, especially let's just say those who do have children or young adults, you know, if we didn't watch it, you know, what would be the impact to them, you know, financially, and maybe it might come to that, you know. I certainly, you know, throughout the years have again seen where things have certainly changed with them, and like I said, not for my personal taste. You know, but obviously there's some audience out there for them. But you know, I think we pretty much know what to expect, and so why are we even surprised? I guess you know, seeing that they've taken this direction, you know, over the last few years. So I'm going to land there. Thank you.
Let me respond to that real quick. Being part of like having a media outlet, and you know, it's kind of my job sometimes to really just chime in. I don't watch BET like that. I don't really. I'm not really into it. But you know, the BET Awards is supposed to be something big amongst Black entertainers. And having Newstoter, we do cover entertainment as well. We cover Black culture. And the question was made. BET said that this was a celebration of the culture. By the culture, they mean Black culture. So I felt it necessary to ask those that I know, is this really a representation of Black culture? So that was my point of even making this space, was just get a discussion started. Like, is this what Black culture is today? Does BET represent Black culture?
Yeah, so that was the whole. That. Yeah, I understand that, and I appreciate that. And I guess I would have to say it's been a while since I've actually watched the show, because I saw where things were going a few years ago. And even with their regular programming, I guess it's just for me, I haven't really been interested. And I guess I'm, for me, I've seen an agenda, coming for a while, so I just don't even bother.
I watch the first few minutes to see what outfits the people have on and have a good laugh, and then I turn it after that. But like I said, this was the first time in years that I actually watched it for hours just so I could set this space up and see exactly what was going on and have something to talk about. But I feel you. A lot of older black people, middle aged black people, definitely don't fool with BET. Haven't fooled with BET since the '90s, really. So I definitely understand what you're saying, and definitely appreciate you chiming in. Definitely appreciate your opinion. So,
and I do, and I do want to end with this. So, if you don't mind, even though I didn't watch it, certainly, in social media, I was able to see, some of the outfits or costumes or whatever we want to call it, and and hear about what happened. Certainly, what we would call, I guess, reviews on it, and I just didn't really. Again, it's just more of the same type of thing. Nothing new there. But really just focusing on what I would call the things that are, more of the men dressing like women. Those seem to be what they were really, talking about, or those reviews were more about that part of the awards rather than who was actually winning the awards. See what I mean? So just at face value, if I were looking for something, this is what they seem to focus on, was the men, dressed in women's dresses or whatever, as opposed to, here are these winners. So just to let you know that. Thank you.
no doubt. Thank you very much. Kimberly, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey family, hey Newstoter. So I'm gonna go right into this. Hey Ray, I really agree with you. I think that personally, if you want a side note to start coming up with Black policy projects, which we can start suing some of these fools who get out here and they're just a disgrace. There's two sides in every world. It's the right side and it's the wrong side. And a lot of people just don't want to do right, no matter what you say, no matter how you bring it. And just because you advertise stuff on TV, it always have a fundamental purpose to discredit something or to corrupt something. And basically what I've seen so far is the abnormal is now being accepted in our community, not by all of us, but by some of us or most of us. Half of us that are accepting the abnormal of things as normal is unacceptable. It's a right way to do things and it's a wrong way to do things. And people that's doing things the wrong way, they all often try to blame the people who are standing up for something. If you stand up for something, great. But if you don't stand up for something, you're falling for anything. And I'm not that person. So in saying that, the community that are gay or lesbian or whatever their choice that they decide to become, your issues is with the Bible, the King James Version Bible, that your grandmother or mother got a hold to and read that scripture that says a man should not be with a man. And she installed that into her children. She fought to make sure that they had an opportunity to see God. And that ain't nothing wrong with that. Now, if any community want to go against the Bible or go against the great I am that I am, then have at it. Take your shot. But the deception is yours, not ours. So let me get that out. Second of all, if cities were so great amongst people, then how come Sodom and Gomorrah, which was one of the most adulterous nation in the land, was destroyed by God? Okay, so that is an unacceptable practice for BET to have women that is customizing themselves in a fallen state, not a proper state, a fallen state. And you say, what's a fallen state? Well, check this. Fishnet stockings came from hookers. Wearing bracelet around your ankle originally started from Africa. But the women in the street coined that to let them know that they were available. So don't get it twisted. And then the tattoos that you blasting all around, that came from bikers, okay? So everything has its culture and its place. So don't come into the Black community that wants to have a proper way to handle things, a proper proper way to do things, a proper way to raise our children, a proper way to live with our man as the head of our household, a proper way to deal with issues that are adulterous, a proper way to live, and then you come on here acting like the things that you want to say about our community is best for us? Absolutely not. I'm not going to stand for it. And I rest my peace. And you can come for me if you want to, but that's what I got to say. Wait a minute. Let me finish.
All right, we ain't gonna argue now. Just say your piece, Miss Arnold. How you doing tonight? And we'll get you. Raise your hand, T.S. Giselle. But go ahead.
First of all, that's deception. For someone to even deal with someone who has two personalities, we can't tell if you're coming or going. One day we can catch you, you feel like you a man. The other day we catch you, feel like you a woman. Who are you? That is your problem. You have to use what's right for yourself to figure out what's best for yourself. Don't put your insane conditions on us. Figure that stuff out. Find yourself. Don't make us respect who you are. Don't make us accept who you are. I land my plane. Now come for me.
Yeah, so it's 2022. It's not 1902. So, you can live by the Bible. I'm Christian as well. I have a relationship with God as well. But the world has evolved. Culture has evolved. There's nothing you can do. You can live your life the way that you do, but you're not going to tell me not to live my life as I am.
I didn't tell you not to live your life.
You did.
I did not. I did not.
You just condemned.
Hold on, Miss Honor. She let you yell. You got to do the same now. You know what I mean? Go ahead, T.S.
Yeah, you just condemned and said that it was abnormal behavior. There's nothing abnormal about me. I'm highly educated, gainfully employed. You don't know anything about me. All that you know is that I'm a trans person. But I'm going to live my life as well as other Black queer people or Black women that are feminists, etc. I don't judge. It's often that those that are the most religious want to judge society the most. And by the way, Christians are not the majority of people in this world. I just want to make that clear. And I was raised in a religious household. I'm from the South, so I was raised in the Bible Belt. But you spout hate. I don't spout hate. What you said was very hateful and demeaning. And this is one of the problems of Black society and this is where gay people get it right. The gay community is very united across all fronts. The reason why Black people in America can't move forward is because we can't unite. You have people that hate other Black people because of their sexuality or gender. It's ridiculous. That's why I come into these spaces with an opposing opinion. Now, I'm not criticizing you because of your religion, but you just used your religion to criticize everything that I stand for as an individual and people like me. And you don't even know me or what I represent. You probably don't know how successful I am at my career or how educated I am. All you see is a transsexual, so I've got the devil deep in spirit, just like my grandmother told me. And then you guys wonder why Black gay people run away from Black society, why the Billy Porters of the world don't go to majority Black events or don't deal with Black people because of the vitriol that we face from our own culture. This is why I'm so glad you made the comments that you did, so people can see that I'm not crazy. And you attacked us first. I get accused of being a troll when I come to these spaces, when in reality, people can never sit down and have a proper conversation with me. It's always attack Giselle because Giselle is trans. She's a thorn to society. She's not what the Bible says. And then we're Black. And a lot of those things that you reference in the Bible were written by white people to control how people live. That's what doesn't make sense to me is that we live, honey, they use the Bible to keep Black Africans enslaved in this country. And you guys are so loyal. And I'm not questioning it. Everyone's entitled to believe what they believe in. But, make it make sense, honey. Anyway, at the end of the day, Kimberly, you're entitled to your opinion, but T.S. Giselle is going to be T.S. Giselle. Period, sis.
Okay. Well, let me move on because we got Kimberly. I'm gonna come back to you, but we got some other people with their hands up. We got let me see. Hey Boogie, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey man, peace to the room. Thank you for holding the space. I was just looking at some black media that I normally watch. You know what I'm saying? Besides supporting Newstoter and Freedman Party, Freedman News Network, and all the other black news networks that I watch. But this person spoke specifically to the topic, so I'm gonna just play a little clip real quick.
Niggas who go for Bombay bitches. We like to see Bombay bitches dance. When we see big girls dance and shit, we just wait on them to get tired. Then they edit it. Like if a big girl asks me to dance, I'll dance with her. She gonna be sleepy when we through. They skinny in Arkansas. They skinny in Arkansas. Are we there still? Yeah, you there, hey Boogie? But I can't watch no man in no booty shorts act like he talking to me. If it's a man with some boots and booty shorts on, I ain't gonna even lie. Now I'm gonna get in trouble for this, but I don't care. I'm gonna tell you. When we was coming up, if we'd have saw a man like that, we'd have been like, get him. I'm just saying. Everybody be like, get him. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Now, the children watch the brothers with the blonde, crinkly hair and the lipstick and makeup on and the booty short backwards. This is what the kids have now. The black family is gone. It's gone. Your kids might say, well, Daddy, what's wrong with a man wearing booty shorts?
Oh, it's because they're making it just so commonplace.
The people in charge of the programming at BET have done a great job at destructing the black family. The black family now is led by the woman. I'm not saying BET did all that, but they play. White Caucasian people run everything that has to do with TV.
Yeah. The production of BET Awards, I mean, they didn't hire like usually.
Look up who owns BET.
No, I'm saying I already got that. I'm saying who runs their production. Like, okay, the BET Awards are coming up. We give it to. Usually, it's like, don't they give it to like a team of a producer or something?
Yeah,
like that?
I cut on the BET Awards. The women were dressed like men. The woman came out there had on suits like men. And the men had on booty shorts. Hey, I'm just saying, I ain't name dropping. When I cut it on, the women had on the suits and the men had on the booty shorts and dresses. What is my man name? What is the dude name? Billy Porter. I'll drop his name.
I love Billy. Hi, Billy.
I don't even want to know what that man is. You see, if it's just one of them, if it's just one man in a dress and everything, and everybody looks at the man in the dress and be like, oh, okay. But when all of the men
Hey Todd, I think you hit the mute mic button, bro.
Oh. Yeah.
Men
had on booty shorts. Yeah, I'm muting them because I'm trying to say something.
Oh, go ahead, my bad.
Yeah. Hey, Boogie, go ahead and let's go ahead because we got quite a few people that want to actually speak and stuff like that. So if you could, brother, just go ahead and just drop some knowledge for us or whatever because we got quite a few hands up and quite a few people that want to speak. So we can maybe come back to that recording a little bit later on, but if you could just go ahead and say what you feel or whatever, that'll make it easier so we can go ahead and get around the room.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to land that plane. But, man, I'm going to say it like this, man. I think we're all adults in this room, and we know the agenda that's being pushed by BET. As T.S. Giselle said, like, you can live your life, but don't be trying to push that on kids. Kids is watching that, and that is not a representation of Black American culture or B1 culture or staying on code culture. That is not our culture. So
it is our culture.
Okay.
Black gay people are black. Are gay black people not black? Is Billy Porter not black? Is Saucy Santana not black? Is Little Nas X not black?
That's your culture. You create the culture on the back of black people. That's your culture. That is an unacceptable
Fight for your
Are
rights.
These people not
I
black?
hope they roll that shit back.
And so to the host, so to Newstoter, this is what I mean.
No, what you mean is you want to come into the space and try to convince. Stop. No, you stop. You trying to convince people to accept something that is.
Hey, yeah, raise your hand too, Miss Kim. So, you want to yield your mic, A Boogie, real quick too as well?
Yeah, it's actually Ray go. It's Ray and then Kelsey. So Ray, you go ahead and unmute your mic. Kimberly, we're gonna get back to you, sweetie. I promise. Everybody, just be cool. We just trying to let everybody go ahead and get a chance to go around the room, and we're gonna get back to everybody that wants to speak. So, TS, just chill for right now because you're gonna get a chance to. But we got a few other people, so we're trying to be fair and let everybody have their say. And TS, you're gonna come back around and speak too. So,
no, I want to add my 2 cents into I don't feel like the black community is homophobic. She's trying to make it out to be like we just hate everybody, and because I don't really think that's it. The black community, we've always been very accepting, but I honestly feel like there's a line to it. You know what I'm saying? Like because when the movement was started with LGBT, it kind of went from we just want to get married, love is love, but then we go from love is love to grown men riding bicycles naked in front of kids. We go to drag queens reading in front of the kids, and it's like okay, yeah, we accept you, but that's kind of fun, don't you think? We just stuff like that. They say that there's no agenda, but then there's shows like the Prouder Family is coming out. The Rugrats has been redone where Phil and Lil's mama, she's not just out. And who's watching it? That's the kids. They're slowly trying to influence the kids. And another thing she said earlier about Little Richard, I guess, died in the closet. That's everybody and their mama knew Little Richard was gay. I remember, I believe it was in '95. He actually did like an interview with Penthouse, and he talked about, I'm gay, I've always been gay. The same thing with Luther Vandross. There's nobody in here.
I need the receipts.
Google it. Here,
no, Ray, send the receipts because I know you're the receipts guy.
Okay, yeah.
And Little Richard, you gotta hold on. You gotta Google that T.S. Giselle because that's fact.
I'll tell her. It said in 1995, Little Richard told Penthouse that he knew he's always been gay. That I've been gay all my life. In 2007, he did another interview with Mojo magazine where he referred to himself as being gay. Is that enough receipts for you?
Little Richard, one of my favorite artists all time. You know what I mean? As well as Sylvester. I love those records, and they were gay. They've been said that shit 1,000 times.
That's the thing. This is my. I'm gonna speak for me. I don't have a problem with gay artists. You just have to have talent. Luther Vandross, I literally played so amazing. That was my wedding song. I love him. Richard Pryor was obviously bisexual. Frank Ocean, Big Frida, Little Richard. All that. We don't have a problem with. The thing is y'all not gonna tell us that Lil Nas X has all this talent because. I'm just speaking to me. He really doesn't. He just doesn't. The dude's been out how many years? Can anyone name an album this guy's made? He hasn't made one album all this time. And I'll say this.
Yes, he has.
What album?
He just released his first album last year. Debuted at number 2 on the Billboard charts.
Okay, I don't follow. I'll admit that. I didn't know this.
And the album also got 7 Grammy nominations. 7 Grammy nominations.
I have to ask this. I'll just say this. I don't know anyone that's listening to it. So where is he getting these streams from? Machines?
I mean,
Ray, like J. Cole says?
I don't know. The audience that you interact with on Twitter Spaces is not surprising. But he's an A-list superstar. He's an A-list superstar. Yes, he is.
He's no superstar,
how
please.
Are you not a superstar if you... So Little Nas X has performed at Grammy, BET Awards, American Music Awards, Billboard Awards, Coachella.
You're telling me that Lil Nas X is on the same level as a Jay-Z or a Beyonce? Is that what you're telling me?
First of all, Jay-Z is not on Beyonce's level, so let's not go there.
You understand what I'm saying, but you understand what I'm saying.
He is
superstar level.
Yes.
No, I would definitely say B-list. And that's honestly.
And Lil Nas X is not on Jay-Z level either, so.
And Jay-Z not even that famous. And he's famous because of his wife.
No. Jay-Z is one of the biggest.
Are you serious?
What?
Are you trying to say that Lil Nas X is a bigger star than Jay-Z?
As a heart attack.
Oh, well, yeah, then I know you trolling now because that's nonsense there. Please, Jay-Z is a top 5, top 10 rapper all time. Some people even say the greatest. Like,
I don't like rap music, so I don't know about rap. And I don't like no Jay-Z because he cheated on Beyonce. But I'll let the conversation continue. I'm sorry. I'll shut up.
I was just going to say, as a parent, it's not, we don't hate gay people. It's just we want our kids to have our personal views. That doesn't mean I hate a gay person just because, I don't hate them. It's just I want them to have my values.
Okay, I'm lying. So, Ray, why does your child have to have your values?
Hold on a minute, TS. Hey, Tyler, see if you could bring A Boogie back up. My phone is on a glitch. I don't want to all-in-one it right now. Go ahead, TS, dog. My bad.
So, Ray, why does your child have to have your values? Why don't you raise your child to develop their own values in life?
Because as a parent, I'm the one that sets the example. That's why I want them to have my values. I'm the one that's feeding them. I'm the one that's putting a roof over their head. I'm the one that's putting them through school, giving them all their clothes. So I want to be able to influence them.
Right, that makes sense. That's what a parent should do. But shouldn't you also allow your child to evolve and grow and to develop their own personality individually? What's wrong with that?
Why can't it be in God's creation? Why do it got to be manipulated?
Hey, Black MacGyver, hold on and wait for a second. We're gonna get to you, bro. You're gonna be since you just you had your hand up at one time, so put your hand up. You put your hand up since you haven't spoke. I'll go ahead and let you go next. But go ahead and put your hand up so you can speak. But everybody chill on just jumping in there while somebody's talking or whatever. So if you want to speak, Black MacGyver, go ahead and put your hand up, and we'll go ahead and get to you.
I'm sorry, family.
Raise on.
I got dropped, so I don't know what she said.
Right, yeah. Hey, Todd, I'm about to drop down, come back up. I'm on Twitter off the hook right now.
Just cut me
I'll be right back. Yeah. I'll be right back. Hey, matter of fact, hey, Todd, make Ray co-host, yo. Hold on. Hey, Todd, make Ray co-host, yo, as well. I'll be right back, yo.
I know Ray not gonna be here long, but I'll go ahead.
No, it's only for a split second, just a split second. I'll come right back. You know what I mean? Just so this shit don't drop out, yo. But go ahead, though. Go ahead. Now, I'm still listening. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just dropping my phone down.
Okay, Ray, you back?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
So, Ray, what I said was all of the values that you named, yes, that's what a parent should do. But what I said was, what's the problem with your child growing up and, making their own path? If you instill the right things into them, then what's wrong with them? So I don't think that a child's going to be influenced because they see Billy Porter and Haute Couture, which he was wearing Haute Couture at the BET Award. They may get a little curious, but that's about it. Like, they're going to grow up eventually and figure out their own path. I did not become a trans person because I watched the BET Awards in 2005. Like, some of the times the stuff that you guys say just is like crazy to me. When you guys say influence and an agenda to what? Also, when you say that it's an agenda because there's gay characters in a TV show, well, guess what? Gay people deserve a right to have representation on TV. That's what I'm so confused about. Gay people being on TV is not an agenda, it's representation. Guess what? At a point in time, it was actually rare for Black people to be on television. Was it an agenda then for Black people to be on television? Make it make sense. The math is not mathing, and it's not giving what it's supposed to give.
I think what people are trying to say is agenda when you start seeing men up here cross-dressing and stuff like that, and then you're saying that it's okay for boys, underage boys and stuff to go ahead and cross-dress. Like, I mean, people are like, well, hey, if that person wants to do that when they get older and they choose to do that, okay, that's fine. But to sit up here and say that, hey, that it's okay for a 12-year-old boy to sit up here one day and then the next day he's a girl and you should go ahead and cross-dress him and stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of people are going to have a problem with that. And TS, let's just get back to what we were saying earlier. I'm going to go ahead because Black MacGyver raised his hand. This is the order we're going to go. We're going to go Black MacGyver. We're gonna go Your Mama, Truth, and Kimberly. So, but this is the thing right here, TS, is that you're missing. I know you're saying how liberal we are and how progressive we are, and you're right. We have become a much more liberal, progressive society than we were 50 years ago, 40 years ago, even 30 years ago. Because 30 years ago, this kind of stuff wasn't on TV like this. You weren't going to see two same-sex people on a commercial kissing each other. That just was not going to happen. 30 years ago, condom commercials didn't come on to after 10 o'clock or something like that. So you're right. But also, let's also I never said that people, if somebody wants to be with somebody of the same sex, that's up to them. That's their, that's their point of view or whatever. But I don't believe you should be telling a third or fourth grader about same sex, sex or whatever, sex ed. I don't believe that. When I was in school, just for regular sex ed, you had to have your parents sign a permission slip so they can go ahead and teach you that. Now, don't sit up here and tell my kid that you can. Don't sit up here and say, well, I don't have to tell a parent anything. We can just go ahead and allow them to come in here. I don't want them without my permission. Don't teach them about regular sex, and don't teach them about gay sex as well without my permission. And if I say no, don't sit up here and say I'm a bigot and I'm this and I'm that or whatever, because I have my personal opinion about things or whatever. Another thing I want to point out before I go ahead and pass it to Black MacGyver, back when Obama was a president, okay, the country did not decide and did not vote for gay marriage. No, that was the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court justice in Florida overturned the ban against same-sex marriages, and it just shot all across the country. The country and here in Florida, they voted against same-sex marriage. It became the law of the land because of the ruling and stuff with the Supreme Court. So the vast majority of Americans did not support gay marriage. They did not say that gay marriage was okay.
I don't think that's true.
Yo, go ahead and pull it up. Source it up.
Source
it up, then. Source it. That is damn sure true. The vast majority of the country did not support gay marriage, and you can go Google it. Then source it up.
Equality is not.
No, nonsense. So do you think these people in the South are going to sit up here and say that they're going to support gay marriage?
I mean, certain Bible Belt countries as well, but I mean,
this country, North and South, East and West, didn't support immigration.
We had a legitimate Supreme Court. Now we have a radical, Catholic court that has broken precedents and.
Listen, the Supreme Court has always been a racist, all boys club. The Supreme Court has stuck it to black people from the time they've been together. The Supreme Court doing what they want to do is nothing new. They've always been against black people in this country.
Well,
always. But the Supreme Court has never been our friend.
So that's not okay. So explain.
Wait, hold on. Wait. I don't want to hog the conversation as the host.
Okay, I'll shut up.
No, so, yeah, because I don't want to hog it. I don't want me and you to go back and forth. But we got hands up, so that's one thing. What's up?
I never really got a chance to respond. I wanted to just chime into that. I think I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say make it quick because we got a couple new people. We got Black MacGyver and Mr. Engaging. So go ahead, Ray, and then because we can always come back to you. So go ahead and make it a quick question if you can.
Okay. I think I speak for a lot of people in here when I say what is going to be the line. Like I said, we went from, gay people just want to get married. Those are two consenting adults. All right, cool. We ain't got no problem with that. How do we go from that to, as you like I was saying earlier about how we have drag queens in the schools now? I think that's the majority of people's really question is what is going to be the line. Some things are acceptable and some things aren't. Kids, being at a gay pride parade and you're having little adults riding in front of them butt naked, that should be a line. I don't understand why that's controversial. Anyone should be like, you know what, that's wrong. They don't need to do that. That is technically kind of pedophilia. That's kind of like leading towards pedophilia. If we're going to be honest.
So Ray, I get what you're saying. So I get what you're saying. But what do you want done? Do you want the government to pass laws?
No,
because at the end of the day, at the end of the day, if the parents
let me respond to
Wait, Mr. Engaging, hold on, because after Black MacGyver, like I said, after Black MacGyver, then you next, because you're a new person. So we're trying to get the new people with their hands in here. So that's what I'm saying, because we kind of want to get it back on topic too. We want to kind of talk about If we want to talk about this stuff with the BET Awards, and Kimberly, don't go anywhere because I want you to come back too. We want to get back on topic with the BET Awards. Talk about, like I said, the crazy stuff that happened with the BET Awards. I just don't want us to get too far removed.
But don't you think that these topics go hand in hand with the room topic? Yeah, these go hand in hand, Newstoter, because when people say that the BET Awards has an agenda, this is the agenda they're talking about. So to me, these topics go hand in hand with what we're talking about.
They do not.
Let me ask you just one quick question, TS, because I don't want to hog it up. Let me ask you one quick question, TS.
They do nothing about it though.
Let me ask you one quick question. Do you think, based on what you saw at the BET Awards, that because like I said, one time award shows you could bring the family there, you could have kids in there. Do you think these award shows now, and that's both with the heterosexual and the same sex behavior, do you think that this is a place that kids should be going to now?
So I'm not a parent, but I probably would not. If I were, I probably would not let my children watch certain award shows. So but to me, the parent needs to control that. What I have a problem with is parents only want to critique stuff when they see gay stuff on television. So you want to critique certain shows, but you let your child watch Power, which is nothing but violence, drugs, and sex.
No, that's not.
That's my problem. It's not fair. It's a double standard.
My kids ain't watching Power. Like, please.
Yeah, my kids.
But a lot of kids are.
Power, so I know my kids haven't.
I remember I took my nephew to the barbershop, and there was this boy there that was like 11, and he was having a full conversation about Power with the barber. And I'm like, now his mama is probably on Facebook being homophobic about there being a gay character, but you letting your child watch the show with all this sex, drug, and violence.
But you just said you don't know. You said probably.
Well, obviously he watches Power, so she does, but she probably don't let him watch the gay scenes. But him having sex with a woman, like Bootsy. Bootsy does all this predatory stuff, but it's always out against homosexuals.
No, that's the thing. We'll speak out. That's
but
wrong.
you guys don't call that out.
But you don't call that out. His 11-year-old kid on no damn 18-year-old. That is wrong.
Exactly.
And that's all we're saying.
But
where is going to be the cutoff? That's
what Ray and our community.
Hey, Miss Giselle.
Giselle, like y'all
just
push
called that out. Hold on, man. Everybody just can't be chiming in. Come on. We called that out just recently, Giselle. Real shit, where we had some grown ass men had a little boy and some grown ass woman was twerking on him. Nah, that shit ain't cool. You feel what I'm saying? That shit is not cool. And he slapping her ass and putting money in her ass. He probably wasn't no older than 13, man. I wasn't thinking about that shit when I was 13. Like, come on. We call that shit out over here, too, yo. And we don't care about what's going on. Call the bullshit out. Let's just keep it legit, man. But go ahead, Todd, whoever you want to put on, bro.
Yeah, Ray, we're going to get back to you. Because Black MacGyver and Mr. Engaging and Kimberly and your mom and them, they're all the truth. They all want to get in. So let's let Black MacGyver go ahead and unmute your mic. But before you unmute your mic, everybody that's in the space, go ahead and follow Newstoter. Follow us here on Twitter. Also, if you can, contribute on the Cash App. That's $Newstoter. That's $Newstoter. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Ms. Griselle, I don't have nothing against gay people, none of that like that. But it's like y'all pushing your agenda as if y'all feel don't nobody accept you, when we do actually accept people, because somebody got at least someone like yourself in their family or have been around it. So it's not about that. It's like y'all pushing something like y'all want to be seen and noticed more than where your sexuality should be kept to yourself and private. And with you say y'all unify, so why can't y'all just keep it within y'all structure and not push it to the next generation of kids? So y'all trying to desensitize God's creation.
So, Black MacGyver, well, we used to have a separation of church and state, but I don't know with the Supreme Court. But we don't have to live our life because you're Christian. We don't have to live our life by those guidelines. You understand that,
Christian,
right?
I don't really rock with Christianity.
But you just said God.
Yeah, God don't have to be strictly towards Christianity.
Gay people don't have to live their life because of your religion. We have a separation of church and state in this country. And freedom of speech.
God creator, the creator.
And expression. Well, God created the scientists that were able to create technology so that humans could transition to the appropriate sex they choose to live.
One question for you. If you don't mind me asking,
yes, sir.
when did your transition? What
So
things caused your transition?
okay, so I'll give you guys a little bit. Yes, things are moving different now. So I didn't transition until my 20s. Transitioning in your, you know, in your early teens was unheard of back in the day. So I think that a lot of, if you're a trans woman in America and you're over 30, you transition in your 20s. So transition at 14 was kind of awkward. But again, society evolves. I don't understand why you guys don't want to accept that society evolves. Ray asked a legitimate question, but then the question is, well, do you want what happened in Texas, where they introduced a law to ban children at drag brunches? That's stupid. And
Yes, I would.
In a state where 19 children were slaughtered, but there's been no legislation introduced in that regard. But you have someone introduce legislation to, if a parent wants to take their child to a drag brunch, that's on the parent.
Why is it like you try to compare other things to what your mental illness is?
Mental illness? I don't have no mental illness, nigga. What mental illness you got?
I mean, there's got to be something mentally impaired there. I mean, you're transitioning into something that you're not.
Sir, I have been living my life as a woman in the South for 15 plus years. So I have 3 degrees.
Wasn't born a woman?
I have 3 degrees, gainfully employed. I just signed a contract in January at my job for a 6-figure salary. I live in a very
That's
nice
something
neighborhood.
You work for. That don't have nothing to do with your transition.
But you said I have a mental illness. So
one of the hosts or co-hosts, y'all stepping on the mute button, or what we doing?
I didn't press anything.
Tyler, that's on you, homie.
I'm hitting the mute button. My bad. I'm hitting the mute button. Just misengaging. Just kind of fall back. I still got it on mute. Misengaging. Just fall back and let them finish talking, and then you're gonna come next.
Hey, hold on a second before y'all start. Hey, Boogie, if you trying to come back up, I don't know if that's my phone. I tried approving you. I think you just need to close your whole phone out, bro. Maybe restart it. I don't know if you see that title already. But if you're trying to come up, throw some hands up or something, bro. If you even in this chat, it could be just a Twitter shit or whatever. But go ahead, whoever wants to talk.
child, I don't hear tired recording he playing. Anyway, I listed all of my accolades because you stated that I had a mental illness. And
at some point, we all can have a functioning mental illness.
I'm pretty for sure your resume will not stack up to mine. So, what mental illness do I have? Now, I do have a therapist, but I mean, who doesn't have a therapist in 2022? Hey, but I'm not. I don't have a victim mentality. And so, even though I may be black and I may be
so you just functional mentally impaired. I mean, we all have something that's mentally impaired about us. Yours just have to be your identity. Which
my
one
identity is not impaired. I know who I am. Do you know who you are, sir?
Yes, I do.
T.S., can I ask you something?
Do you have an education? A formal education?
I'm married, have 3 children, graduated.
Do you have a formal education?
What does that mean? What does
do you have a bachelor?
Like again, you keep comparing other things to not what we were talking about.
Do you have a bachelor's?
Okay, credentials.
Okay,
let's
don't have a formal education.
Let's try to get one person. TS, just let Black MacGyver ask a question, and then we're gonna go on to Mr. Engagement, like I said, because we still got people that want to speak. So Black MacGyver, go ahead and go ahead and kind of speed it up a little bit, because we got Mr. Engagement, we got Kimberly, we got True, we got still a few people that want to go ahead and raise and talk. So go ahead, Black MacGyver, and ask your question. Make it like a quick question. Let's go on so we can get Mr. Engagement and Truth and Kimberly. They all been waiting patiently. So
I have a skilled trade. I build cars for a living, and have life education. I don't have to have a college education to be, sophisticated or whatever you want to be. That's more programmed than whatever you think.
So don't come for me unless I sit for you. Yeah, I am not the one to debate.
I have a PhD, so I
clear
can
everyone.
Yeah, I have a PhD, retired my husband, and I'm in law. Now I can come for you. How about that?
Kimberly, chill, sweetie, chill. You're gonna get your chance. You're gonna get your chance.
Is that a maid speaking? I see you with your maid outfit on.
Oh Lord. Okay, Mr. We're gonna go ahead, Black MacGyver. We're gonna go ahead, Mr. Engage, and unmute your mic.
Hey, what's up, good brothers and sisters? The problem with what you're saying, the PS is Giselle or whatever. The problem is that when that young boy was doing his thing with those people in the crowd during Pride, the thing was it was people that were not from the gay community not calling that behavior out, saying that that's pedophilia. That's the major problem. When there's issues that are going on with children and stuff, that community is not calling it out, and they need to call that out because it shows that they're kind of safe with children, if you dig what I'm saying. And because they don't call that out, it seems like they're grooming our children. I'm just giving it to you straight.
You guys always want to affiliate homosexuality with pedophilia when statistics show that the majority of those convicted of pedophilia are heterosexual men. That's the problem. Do you call out all of the pedophilia that occurs in the heterosexual community? No, you don't. That's all you guys want to do is affiliate.
Yes,
all you want to do is affiliate our community with pedophilia. You guys don't give a fuck about those kids at the drag brunches or them damn parades. You just want to be homophobic and associate homophobia, homosexuality with pedophilia.
Okay, we're gonna get back onto the BET conversation about black culture and the BET Awards because we totally done got sidetracked. I know everybody wants to talk about this or that, but let's talk about some instances at the BET Awards. We can talk about the way women was dressed. We can talk about a political agenda. We can talk about what might be appropriate for kids and whatnot. But let's try to at least stay focused on that because the conversation is totally just shifting. Like I know everybody wants to talk about different things, and these are great topics and whatnot. But let's just try to, as much as possible. Like I said, we can talk about the lack of black advertisers, black companies. We can talk about the political point that they're talking about Roe versus Wade, and they don't mention reparations. They don't mention. They did speak about the amount of black people that was lost and violence and stuff like that, but a number of other issues that weren't mentioned there since they wanted to politicize it. So let's just try to because I know everybody's passionate. Everybody, especially when we started putting religion into it, everybody then kind of went off a little bit. So let's try to get it back as much as possible. If there's something about that, about kids being there and it's not being suitable, by all means, talk about it or whatever. If you want to talk about, even if we're going to talk about certain outfits and stuff, certain people's wearing, if you don't agree with this or that, as long as the agenda is about what the BET, was this about black culture? This is what black culture represents. Is it about women grinding on chairs and grinding in men? And is it about this? Is it about that? So just try to help us as much as possible, trying to kind of get back on track if possible. Mr. Gaten, go ahead and unmute your mic. I'm going to unmute the space, so go ahead.
Yeah, I want to give to that BET thing. How I look at the BET Awards, it does represent some aspect of the black culture. What I mean is the negative parts of it, parts that we don't glorify. I really think that there is a agenda out there to try to, since we don't have control of our image per se, we have people that's out here basically slandering our image and putting our women into bad positions and awkward situations. It's just not a good look. Me personally, I got to a certain game. I stopped watching the BET Awards for a very long time. And I see the clips and stuff here and there, and I do my little research, whatever. But I really go out my way not to look at it because I don't feel like it's socially acceptable or socially friendly anymore. Like, if I can't really watch it with my family and all that, or with like as a family function, what's the point of me participating with it? So I really think that it has an agenda that is excluding the family, the black family. Also, that on top of that, it's kind of driven for a younger crowd, younger and older crowd mix, which is weird. And I think that that's a recipe for the disaster, and they really need to do better.
No doubt, no doubt. Like I say, and like I say, if it's something that you guys want to talk about in the actual BT Wars, if you feel like it's inappropriate, if like you said, you made a good point. Like, yeah, you feel it does represent the culture, but not the culture that we as Black people need to embrace. By all means, like I mean, definitely go ahead and point that out. Like, definitely don't have a problem with that or whatever. So speak on it. We got a new speaker. I'm gonna let him speak. That's Prime. Go ahead, Prime, and unmute your mic. You can go ahead and ask a question. Try to keep it underneath for a minute if you can.
All right, thank you for the time. Does BET Awards represent Black culture? I will say yes, it does represent Black culture. There's a negative and a positive to many things. The BET Awards, for the most part, it represents the negative aspect of our culture. Hip hop, as we can see, it has um, gone to the nigga motherfuckers, bitches and hoes, drugs, sex, murder, mayhem, and all of those things. So, as the homie Mr. Engaging Black was just speaking on, because I just got in here, I think he was speaking to that and how we don't have any control of our culture. Um, that is a part of our culture. At the same time, that is not a representation of us. And due to our lack of control and ownership of those type of things in that media, there is no balance in the presentation. There is no balance in the presentation, and there's no positive representation in the media, which is why BET likes to promote this. They do this to us because they are either a coon who owns it, our media, or a coon who owns our culture, or a non-freedman who owns our culture. So if there's no connection to the American freedman and American freedman culture, it will be misrepresented and the propaganda continues. I would love to have said more, but you gave me a 1 minute limit, so I'm gonna leave it at that, and I hope that made sense. Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna get back to you. We're just trying to go around the room, whatever. Kimberly, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Well, I agree with Ray, and I agree with Black MacGyver. MacGyver, I personally didn't. I don't watch BET no more. I did like Chloe for one while when they first started. They seemed like they were proper women, and they sung very ladylike to me. And they had my respect. And based on what I've seen them, transform into, I no longer respect them. And I don't watch BET. And the things that I do see and hear or heard about them, it's like the brother said, it's unacceptable. And I believe that at this point, Black righteousness is, have every right to say that we prefer, our community to act accordingly, and they're not acting accordingly. And I believe, like Ray said, we should start gatekeeping, and I'm down with that.
No doubt, no doubt. I also want to thank Roro for his contribution on Cash App. What do you feel, Kimberly, in terms of the financial aspect? Like I mentioned that earlier, like there were no Black sponsors, advertisers, or whatever for something that's supposed to be Black owned, Black run. Even though we know it's not Black owned, Black culture. The financial aspect, we're not capitalizing on that whatsoever. So, is there anything you feel particular about that?
I do. I know that there's a lot of Black artists, even dressmakers, and that they're actually, making clothes. And you don't even like. I think her name is Kimberly. Kimberly has some bad clothes out, and you don't even hear about it. You guys don't even know who she is. And yet, no, you got, what did you have? You had Pine Sol, you had Walmart, you had Procter and Gamble, you had all these companies, but you didn't have that sister on there who's basically, a small business owner trying to make it, along with a lot of small business, Black owned businesses that are trying to make it and get into the industry of building income. And yet for what I heard, they didn't put nobody Black in that whole circle of businesses. So I think definitely something needs to be done about that.
Yeah, that was one of the points I also wanted to drive to, because when we talk about culture, we talk about the financial and aspect part of it as well too. And we definitely were left out on that. And you know, for all of the talk that the Black Stars talk about this and that, they're so big to chime in on the culture. You don't hear any of them saying, "Well, hey, you know, what's up with helping these other black businesses? What's up with the startup money and this and that?" Like, you got Procter and Gamble, you had McDonald's, you had Pine Sol, you had Amazon Prime, you had all these people, and you're supposed to go up there and tell these people. You had Honda or whoever, Nissan. I think Nissan was one of the official sponsors. You're supposed to be like, hey, we need y'all to set a bag aside for these black entrepreneurs, these black businesses. And not only that, Taraji. Why would Taraji and some of these other black stars, like you say, with the sisters and stuff, making dresses, making clothes, doing this design or whatever? Why wouldn't they wear some of their designs? You know how big their business would blow up overnight if you had Taraji P. Henson modeling a design by one of these local black fashion people. I mean, they would overnight they would blow up. See, we don't do that. If they was just before the actual BET award show, they was sitting at a black restaurant eating and whatnot and talking about. That's the kind of stuff. That's black culture right there, and that's something that we missing out on that aspect too. So, on top of all of the crazy stuff, like I said, saw like the outfits and everything else that was going on, like that's something I feel like we really missed on as a people that at the BET awards. Um, truth, truth. No, Ray, I know you got to leave early, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you speak.
No, I'll just say this, you guys. The conversation shifted. That was a question I had, so I don't want to, shift it back towards the left and to the right. So I just say goodnight to everybody, and I'll catch you guys on the next space.
Appreciate it, Ray. Thanks for coming in. Truth be told, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Good night, Ray.
Hey, I wanted to ask, what's her name? Is she gone? No, TS. I'd like to hear any comments I'd like to hear any comments. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I wanted to know if you can give me some perspective on this Bryce Williams, because since you have so much information. Bryce Williams was an HIV case manager, a prominent activist in the LGBTQ community, and has worked with LGBTQ youth, and was just charged with child pornography, putting it in a Dropbox, and uploading it to all kind of different services. What kind of information do you have on that, and what is your perspective on that?
I mean, what information? I don't understand what you're asking. Are you wanting me to condemn this person?
No.
Obviously, if they were downloading child pornography, that's a crime, and they should be convicted to the highest order. But that person is not a reflection of millions of people that identify as LGBTQ. So every time that an incident happens like that, I see people in ethnic spaces always call out that individual and want to apply it as a whole when that's unfair, because that's what white people do to black people.
No, not apply it as a whole. I'm not applying it as a whole, but we're talking about kids and agendas. And my problem with that is, how are we supposed
one
to...
One individual does not represent an agenda.
What about the one that was in the library? What about the one in the library reading books to the kids?
There
and
are
same type of situation.
There are millions of gay people in America now. So you can call out 10,000 individual cases. Those 10,000 individual cases don't have an impact on millions upon millions of people.
But that is why I think a lot of people are
scared.
That's why I think a lot of people are scared about agendas, and especially with our children.
For being a sexual predator today and sentenced to 30 years in jail. Are we all going to assume that all black men are sexual predators because R. Kelly is? Or are we going to assume that the millions of black people that still listen to his work and still let their children listen to his music, even though he's a predator?
Not I.
Okay? So we're not.
And also,
one
my other
individual case to an entire.
No, it's not no one. You keep trying to take it to one individual, but it's not. Like you said, there's thousands of cases of it. And what my thing is, when you have
and there are thousands of cases of pedophilia with heterosexual people. Are you?
Yes, it is.
Equally.
Yes, it is. But when you're talking about when we're talking about agendas with kids, and you want to just mull over that, that is an important issue.
I am mulling over it because it's not an agenda.
How do we trust the drag queens when we see them in environments and with titles like that are around kids, that they're not doing the same type of thing? That's why there's the mistrust going on. That's why
How do we trust y'all's dusty uncles that were touching on little girls?
Oh, them too. Them too. I condemn them too. But we're also. But my thing is, we also have to. You're being very sensitive about the fact that people are saying questioning about agendas and asking questions about kids and having different people around kids. You want to be very sensitive to that, but you have to be sensitive to the fact too that there's a reason for that people look at them side eye. Because of situations like that.
The reason Sweetheart is called homophobia.
My name ain't Sweetheart, though. My name ain't Sweetheart. I'm probably twice your age. I'm not a sweetheart.
Well, it's
no, not well.
That's the reason.
Don't disrespect.
Honey, you gotta show respect to get it.
Well, whatever. Don't call. I didn't call you sweetie, honey.
All right, y'all. Can we get back to the BET Awards? Who was your favorite artist? Which you didn't like? Did you agree with Taraji was saying about Clarence Thomas and all this other stuff? Let's get to that, yo. Hey, go ahead, Mr. Engager.
Yeah, the Clarence Thomas thing. I'm glad you brought that up. Just a sidebar a little bit. Like anybody that's publicly kind of going at this man, I don't think it's the right time to attack that black man, because I look at what the left is saying and just other people are saying in general, calling him like the N-word and stuff like that. You could tell that they're attacking this man because he's a black man. They're not really attacking him off per se the policies. And I find that very, very disturbing. And I find it very disturbing when I see some of my older colleagues or whatever and other people comment and they say disparaging things. And they go more harder and they allow other white people to comment on those things. And it makes me feel uncomfortable as a black man. I'm not capable for the man saying that whatever he's doing is right, but I could see that they kind of Bill Cosby in his brother, if you get what I mean.
I was going to say, does the BET Awards represent black culture?
One second. Y'all got to stop jumping out of character, bro. We respect people up here. This is the Newstoter. This is his stuff. Raise your hand and wait to be called on. This is class education. Where we educate ourselves when we debate each other with the facts. So with that being said, Mr. Engaging, I agree with you 100% on what you just said. And, yeah, but I'm going to just yell my mic because I can't even think. Y'all got to start talking out of line of arguing with each other. Just stop, yo. This is a news
You keep jumping me, though. You jumped me twice, so.
Yeah, but it's not for me to call you up as well. That's the whole argument of muting you, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Stop jumping out of character because you want to get your feelings off. See that, too? It ain't about blocking you or being the person that's blocking. Stop. You know what?
Hold on one second. What we're going to do is... Hold on. What we're going to do is take a few more questions or have whoever wants to raise their hand, and then we're going to close the space out. So TS has a hand up. Truth, Kimberly, if you guys want to go ahead and say something, we're going to get ready to close the space out. Black MacGyver, you already talking, so okay. Because I kind of, like I said, with everybody jumping in too, I'm kind of losing the spots for where they at. So okay. DJ, who was up next?
Y'all did skip me twice. I was trying to answer the title at the top.
Go ahead, Black MacGyver. Go ahead and answer.
BET Awards have not been representing us. They've been shaming us since like 2000. BET is infiltrated and compromised. We got more culture representation from MTV Raps through the years than BET. And what I think actually represents our culture is the Soul Train Awards. The Don Cornelius era was the representation of black culture. And I'll land my plane. Y'all have a good night.
Appreciate that. Thank you, brother. Thank you. TS, I know you. I'm gonna go ahead and let you go ahead, and then I'm gonna let Truth go in.
And Kimberly, if you want to go ahead, you can go ahead too. So TS, go ahead.
Yeah. So I enjoy the BET Awards from a production perspective. It wasn't my favorite BET Awards that we've had in recent years. I think it's totally okay to critique and criticize the awards. But at the end of the day, if we don't support our own, then who will? So when we call about boycotting BT, and I haven't watched in 10 years, that actually hurts our culture. It's the only um, television station that we have really that's dedicated. I mean, there's TV1 as well, but the BT is still premier. Whether you guys want to admit that or not in our culture, we have to have some form of representation. The problem is, you guys' opinion is really, based where it's not a societal norm anymore. It's not cool to be homophobic anymore, and a lot of the rhetoric that's being pushed is homophobic. Whether you want to admit it or not, that's how the media companies review it. BET has to evolve so that it can stay current. When we talk about, well, where were the black business owners in commercials? They were there. When we talk about, the companies that were advertised, well, BET has to pay its bills. So I think it's disingenuous to criticize the commercials that air when it's a company that's really owned by Viacom. They have bills to pay. That is a multi-million-dollar production, and they have bills to pay. And those companies employ millions of black people. Walmart, Procter and Gamble, whoever, they employ millions of black people across this country. I know for a fact that Walmart gives tons and tons of scholarships to HBCU graduates. Walmart employs thousands of HBCU graduates and gives them high salary paying jobs out of college and internships. Amazon, Google, Apple, all of those companies advertising. And you guys only wanted to focus on fashion, but no one mentioned that it was during the entire show, they applauded HBCU culture. The host was a graduate of an HBCU, and the Icon Award went to another. He's not an HBCU graduate, but he attended HBCU in P Diddy, and he at the end of the show acknowledged that he would donate $1 million to Howard University and Jackson State University. So you guys didn't mention positives. You guys just want to focus on BET celebrating the gay communities because you wanted to be homophobic, and then hate feminists. And so you didn't like that Janelle Monáe said fuck the Supreme Court, and I agree with her. And as a matter of fact, there were not enough fuck you Supreme Court for me. I praise BET for including Roe v. Wade in the memorial, because that was a tragedy to see women lose their rights because of a bunch of um, WASP on the Supreme Court, delusional. Clarence Thomas is an absolute disgrace to black culture, the devil, period. And he's married to an insurrectionist bitch. Fuck Clarence Thomas and fuck any black person that defends Clarence Thomas. He is an absolute disgrace. SCOTUS is an absolute disgrace. And like Janelle Monáe, fuck the Supreme Court, and fuck anyone who is against the evolution of society and that is still homophobic in 2022. Period. And Chloe was amazing. Brandy was amazing. Lotto, Mariah Carey, amazing. And the ballroom scene was amazing. But BET, we need more black gay people run the entertainment industry. If there were no gays, who would do the girls' hair? Who would dress the girls, style the girls, choreograph the girls? So we need more gay representation at the BET Awards. This year was a step in the right direction. I hope they correct the wrongs that they did to Lil Nas X. And yeah, and like Beyonce says, you won't break my soul. Period, Kimberly.
All right.
Don't come for me unless I send for you. So don't come for me unless I send for you. And second of all, you could promote that filth all you want, and you could talk all that filth about how BET represent the gay community. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at the King James Version Bible that says, "Damn the gays and the lesbians." Okay, so don't get mad at me. Point your anger where it's supposed to be. Don't come for me unless I send for you.
Didn't the Europeans add those scriptures?
Shut up, girl.
Okay. Come on, y'all. Let's close. Let's let Heart. You got your hand up. Go ahead and unmute your mic real quick and make it a quick statement if you can.
Hey everybody. So I just want to say to the topic, I'm not sure if the BET Awards represent Black culture, at least as I know it. I think we've definitely seen an evolution in our culture from just how strong, family values, how we show up in the world. So I'm not too confident to say that it represents at least what I know as Freedman Black culture. So I'll end my point right there. Thank you.
Thank you for chiming in, Heart. Truth, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, only thing I want to end on is that people need to stop comparing the civil rights struggle to any other struggle at all. And basically, people need to remember that they Black before they anything else, because nobody knows anything about what your sexual preference or anything is until you open your mouth. But they know that Black skin represents Black skin, so you need to be Black first, and that should be an agenda. I'll end.
No doubt. DJ, go ahead and you go ahead and get the last word, and then I'm gonna go ahead and close it out.
I ain't even gonna lie, you caught me eating a piece of chicken right now. So
well, then I'll go ahead and I'll close it out.
I want to know how an award show with exclusive Black people, with the exception of Jack Harlow and the white guy in Maverick City, is not Black culture. It's not making sense to me.
That's because you're a hypocrite. Nothing ever gonna make sense to a hypocrite.
I wasn't talking to you. To the host.
To you.
All right. I'll go. Since y'all want to
really
argue, you know what I'm saying? Y'all want to argue all the time. Know what I mean? Y'all could come argue over at Kite Productions. Both of y'all follow me, and I'll do a space, and y'all can come and battle it out. Freestyle, since this Black History Music Month. Y'all better get y'all raps together right now. TS versus Kim. Let's get it. So anyway, does the BET Awards represent Black culture? The answer is no. But I do understand what you're saying, TS, that this is a business. You know what I'm saying? So, but with that being said, when we say, does BET represent Black culture? The answer, in my opinion, is no. And it has nothing to do with the business, because it has to do with systematic racism. Let's not forget, just only a few years ago, and you got to look this up so I don't have to come with the receipts, that Byron Allen versus Comcast. Are you aware of that? You there, TS? Going once, going twice. Well, anyway, everybody search Byron Allen versus Comcast. So we already know who our brother Byron Allen is. Comedic, started in comedy, worked his way up. We know his struggle. If you ever watched the Breakfast Club interview, and I hate to big them clowns up, you know what I'm saying? Because they some clowns. They don't represent the Black community either. We have to stop looking at people like Luke, Uncle Luke. I'll be mad when I see y'all in his space, yo. But y'all don't pull up for the title space. You know what I'm saying? Or don't pull up for the Kite production education on music business and education about the entertainment industry. I got 30 years doing this shit. Real talk. I just had an argument with my aunt why she don't support me. Real shit. Telling me to get a job, but I ain't had a job in over a decade. I've been selling music my whole life. What's up with that? You know what I'm saying? We don't want to support each other. So I don't think we should get upset who are the sponsors of BET, because it's not even our thing anymore. And as far as like ownership of like a particular music or whatever, see, that comes with paperwork. You have to have a copyright claim on that. And even after a certain amount of years after you pass away, it'll still remain in the family for like 90 years. Okay, after that 90 years is up, it could become public domain. So like I did a video called How to Make Money Off Your Talent. See that? And I detailed that very strictly. Hey, grandkids, you better renew that copyright 90 years after I'm gone. If you don't, I'm going to haunt your ass. You know what I'm saying? Because that's your legacy. My legacy to you and my inheritance and, your generational wealth, what I'm leaving to you. So you got to make sure you stay on this shit. My family, they don't want to learn this business. You know what I mean? I try to teach my little cousins and them. Hey, you ain't gotta be the DJ. You could be the lighting technician and make $100 grand a year and go around the world for free. You know what I mean? They don't care about that. They got their focus on what they focus on. And I can't force nobody to come over here and say, hey, look, this is what it is. It's up to y'all to learn or want to learn this crap. You know what I mean? So with that being said, does the BET Awards represent black culture? The answer is no, because they know damn well they could have had some black businesses up in there. TS, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the business. You could have promoted buyblack.com, and that would have been, they should have been a sponsor of the BET Awards. You feel what I'm saying? Or co-sponsor at least, if next to Nissan. Nissan should have sponsored them. See that? We have no representation in our own shit that we created. And I'll just yell right here, because I know my brother Tyler got to do what he got to do with the fam. I'll just yell right here. The reason why we don't own anything is because we really don't care about it. That is the truth. We don't own our own culture is because we don't care about it. We don't think about the business side. And the ones that do, like a Puffy, how BET bigging him up as honoree of the year or whatever it is, when he done stole from every black artist that came under him. Puffy wasn't an artist when he was with Uptown and Andre Harrell. Rest in peace to that brother, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, Andre wasn't messing with you like that as far as, because you wasn't an artist, Puffy. You know what I'm saying? So where did you learn how to, do wrong to our people, man? You know what I mean? Like Biggie Mom said, you raise $50,000 in front of a ghetto nigga's face. You know what I'm saying? A little nigga from the hood. Hell yeah, he gonna take that shit. But not realizing that contract was supposed to be for at least $1 million. You see what I'm saying? Signing bonus, and that's the signing bonus. But Biggie only got 50 grand. And this is at the height when record labels were at its epiphany or whatever, or the epitome of it. You know what I mean? The height of it is upper echelon shit. You know what I mean? We don't care about our own culture. This is why somebody like Tether Rhymes, Busta Rhymes could come up here and say hip hop was started in Jamaica and America ain't got no culture. But damn, Busta, who you specifically talking to? You see what I'm saying? What part of America ain't got no culture? So those are the things we got to think about. And if y'all want to come argue with that, we'll be over at the Kuiper Productions about midnight. I'll see y'all then. Love y'all. Reparations up.
No doubt, no doubt. I want to thank everybody for coming into the space tonight, and I definitely did not feel like black culture was represented at BET. Not from the days of what I was used to watching Soul Train and watching award shows, and I saw the kind of class that was put on and the kind of talent, and you weren't gonna catch Whitney Houston up there twerking. Say what you want to about her personal life and drugs and her choice of who she was with or whatever. You weren't gonna catch Natalie Cole twerking. You weren't gonna catch Diana Ross up there coming up to the mic and talking, "Hey, bitch." So I mean, I definitely feel like the culture has changed, and not for a good thing either. There was a time that you could have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds up there at an actual award show, but now you really can't have it no more because of the actual family atmosphere. Black culture was something to celebrate and entertain. People sat around the TV from the time in the 70s, even when they were on white shows like Ed Sullivan, to when Don Cornelius had Soul Train. You could sit up there with your family. You could sit up there and you could appreciate the genius and the artistry of these people here that you had a kinship with. Well, that's no longer the case anymore. Do I think black people should gatekeep their culture? Hell yeah, I think they should. Because time and time we've learned throughout the past that if you don't learn from the past, you repeat that mistake. And time again, no matter what genre of music we created in this country, whether it be rock and roll, whether it be gospel, whether it be country, no matter what it is, it gets taken by the dominant society. And not only you have the dominant society taking it, you have people from Asia, people from the Caribbean, people from Africa, and the same people that sit up here and take it will tell you that, well, hey, you didn't create this by yourself. We had to help you. We had to edge you. Everything that you do came from what you actually originated from and this and that. So I feel like it was a disrespect. I felt when Janelle Monáe came up there and she included everybody into the, she wanted to congratulate everybody for Black History Month. But then she left our black man who contributed as much to black music as anybody in the world. You can make an argument, if not more, your biggest stars in the history of this world are black men. to go along with the black women. There is no bigger star than Michael Jackson, and yet you would sit up there and you would not acknowledge. You would not acknowledge black men. Yeah, anybody thinks Beyonce is bigger than Michael Jackson, it smokes crack. Okay, nothing. Take nothing away from.
No crack. Okay.
Take nothing away from Beyonce. Beyonce ain't never sold 100 million albums. Okay. No, she has not sold 100 million albums off of one album. Thriller is the biggest selling album of all time. Okay, now the host is speaking now. Thriller is the biggest selling album of all time. Michael Jackson went from being a kid star to a pop idol, a teen idol, to a full-fledged superstar. He has hit every trail imaginable that nobody else has in black culture or white culture. Michael Jackson was hated on by the masses. There is no Michael Jackson, and like her own husband told her, no, she's not Michael Jackson. Beyonce is not. She is not Janet Jackson in terms of being an entertainer. She is not Whitney Houston vocally, Aretha Franklin, and I can go and name a few other ones as well. So no disrespect to that sister. She's talented and she's good, but let's not sit up here and say that she's better than Michael Jackson, because that's just nonsense right there. Please. Mike, we see the kind of hate that Michael Jackson got. Michael Jackson got so much hate that no other artist in history had the kind of people scheming and plotting to try to do this man in. And half of them, the reason that he died early with all the stress they put on him. So I felt like this was a failure. I feel like the award shows was terrible. The artistry, while it was okay, I wouldn't compare it to past generations. But the artistry, they had some decent talent up there. But you like to see black women dressed up, covered up a little bit more. Like, you had plenty of beautiful women in there. So as a man, you don't mind looking at them, but at the same time, you still understand that. Well, hey, you can't get mad if somebody views you as a sex object. So I thought it was a little over the top. It's not owned by black people anymore. It is promoted like it's a black owned, black this and that. Just because you have black shows on there, that's fine and good, but that is not a black owned business. Okay, that is a black front business. It is owned by Viacom, which owns all CBS and all MTV, VH1, and all these other things. So not to take anything away from it, and I understand what you were saying that you were saying that Walmart and Amazon and all of them give scholarships to black people. Well, that's great because black people spend billions of dollars on their products. So they're not giving anything away. They're giving a small margin of their profit back to the people who supply them and who keep them in business. So, yeah, let black people stop shopping at Walmart tomorrow and see how that hurts their bottom line. It's not going to drive them out of business, but it's damn sure going to hurt them quite a bit. So nobody ever just gives black people anything out the kindness of their heart because they just feel bad for black people. So there was not any of those black advertisers on there. No black business was talking about. They had a couple things. They talked about a guy with an app and some of this and that. But please, this is the time that you should be up there promoting your people, not only just the artists, but black business, the people that support these artists, who buy their music, go to their concerts, support their movies if they're making movies, anything like that. So I would like to see a little bit more love. If that was what black culture was, I think it definitely needs to improve. So I want to thank everybody who came to the space tonight. We will be holding the space tomorrow on what? I have no idea. But I appreciate you guys chiming in and coming in. And like I said, my man DJ going to be holding him a space tonight. So y'all make sure y'all catch that if y'all want to go through. He stays up late. So y'all will be rocking to the early morning with DJ and whatnot. So definitely appreciate y'all coming in. Continue to support Newstoter. We will continue to put out great content for you guys. And we will see you tomorrow. Have a good one.
Please go to newstoter.com, newstoter.com, and we looking for black content creators and black business people to love y'all. Reparations.